But self-value, it seems to be in short supply today with a lot of men. You may have noticed. It's like an endless army of simps out there. And it seems that self-respect is like a foreign concept to a lot of men now. Like their only yardstick for their own self-value is a woman. Which of course, in the current climate leads to just a shitload of self-loathing. I just have some key takeaways that I'd like to share that have helped me on my journey. A lot of stuff is some stuff that I've figured out and other stuff that I've picked up along the way. And it's really basic. It's really basic stuff. But my take on it has always been, why make things complicated if the basics work? So I think this decade, it's going to be a real test for men. I don't think it's going to be easy ride at all. And this belief that guys are going to walk off into the sunset and unscathed. Well, maybe if you've got your shit together as an older man at this point in your life, but I don't think that's going to be the case for younger men. I think they're going to do it really fucking tough. It's not going to be easy for them. So I think, especially with young men, as men, we need to be very selective about what we digest, about what we watch, about how we spend our time. I think we need to get clear on our principles and state our boundaries clearly and don't take a backward step when people encroach on us. We need to know our worth and not undervalue ourselves. And we need to know how to engage but not become reactive. It's an old technique. You witness the emotion, you allow it, and you release the emotion. And it's okay to take a breath. You don't have to act. It's okay to separate yourself from the emotion, because you don't have to justify yourself to anyone. If you have to keep proving your worth to someone, they're not worth your time. And men need to practice saying no. And it's a little thing, but a lot of people miss it. There's a big difference between letting go and giving up. Focusing on yourself, valuing yourself, and taking pride in who you are and what you do. Walking down the street with your head up, and standing your ground firmly, but not emotionally, and getting clear on what you want and what you won't allow. Pride, self-respect, not taking shit. And understanding and appreciating the power of choice. Shutting out the noise. And practicing gratitude for all the little things in life. Looking internally, not externally. And getting in touch with the physical. Being consciously aware of tension in your body. Finding ways of releasing tension in your body. Being mindful of the physical, then applying that same conscious awareness of the physical to your own thoughts and emotions. It's an old technique, but it works. Being present with your thoughts and your emotions, but not a slave to them. And having autonomy over them through practicing mindfulness, through practicing that conscious awareness. Being present in the moment, and not taking the past with us into the present. Taking little steps. Because men, they don't need to take the weight of the world on their shoulders. You're not Atlas, and you owe nothing to anyone except yourself. The little steps, they're great. They create momentum. It gives us an opportunity for, to stand back and do a proper risk analysis, especially in these times. And fuck acronyms. A man serves himself when he embodies his own philosophy and his own principles, but his only. You determine how you live your life, no one else does. And if advice has a price tag attached, keep walking, they're not your friend. And words, defining words is vital. Defining language for yourself so you can have clarity, so you can get clear on things. Just like if you're conducting a study, you set a baseline, a definition, like what is love? What is honor? What is respect? What is it to you? Because if you don't get clear on words and the definition of words, you're open to gaslighting and having words used against you. So clarity, it's very important, as is language. And key words for a man are those that are typically used against you and used to box you in. But language, it's a great springboard to wider philosophical discussion. It makes you think about things, makes you think about how they specifically apply to you. Because if your mind and your body are at peace, your world is at peace. And that little piece of grey matter between your ears, that's yours. No one can take that from you. As Castiamato said, to see a man beaten not by a better opponent, but by himself, is a tragedy. And for many men, the biggest enemy is the man staring back at them in the mirror. And it all starts with awareness and appreciation and self-respect. The world, society, it's going headfirst down the toilet. But men don't have to follow it. Keep on trucking.
All right. That actually, man, that really just brought it in focus for me. Sometimes sometimes people just put, they put together something, and I think it's important, videos and all that such that we have. We have stuff that we can go back to, stuff that we can listen to that can sort of put it back in focus for us. Because there's a lot trying to pull us every which other fucking way. They want to give you purpose, tell you where you fit in society. They want to take your meaning from you, which it's not even really possible, but they'll attempt to do it. They want you to basically go against any value you actually hold. Think about all the men that you've heard them tell stories, or they look at their life as it currently is, and they just question who they are now versus who have they ever been. Their identity is completely cracked. It's destroyed. They put things above themselves that later they realize were insignificant. They didn't even matter. And in the end, all you've got is your meaning, is the identity you cultivate for yourself. You don't have anything else. So I think it's important. A lot of these videos, there's some books coming out now, which I think is good. Still never got a book from Barbarossa, which it probably would have been more MRA sort of centered, so it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. But check out Messenger's book. Definitely check that out. It's good. I listened to the audiobook of TFM's Way of Monkey. If you're very freedom oriented, like if that's actually values of yours, I'd give it a listen. You'll actually really enjoy it. It's actually really good. You do have to do an Audible trial for that though. So I would honestly what I'm probably gonna do, because if especially for those who don't want to start an Audible thing, I'm probably just gonna play it, record it or something, and then just upload it to like my MGTOW.tv or something like that, so you don't have to go through that. You can just grab it from there because MGTOW.tv lets you download it as an audio file anyways. All right. Topics. Well, you know what? No, because I don't feel like doing anything all super high structured or anything like that, and trying to keep focus. I think it's better to just enjoy yourself. So one of my main goals lately has been lowering my cortisol levels. So what I noticed was, I did the full keto thing, and I haven't seen much difference because the diet isn't that different from my regular diet. I just can't have apples, oranges, and a lot of the vegetables that I normally eat. Otherwise, I normally eat pretty high protein as it is. My sleep was pretty messed up, so I weaned myself off of the melatonin, and then I basically was like, all right, cool. Now I have to lower my cortisol levels however I can. And so I've been basically trying to mess around with that, seeing what happens. Because stress is a huge killer for guys. Like we can, get high testosterone, you're doing it, you're kicking life's ass, and then your heart just attacks the shit out of you and you can't fight back. It just happens. So it's important to focus on your health, but also and I heard this and it made sense because I can feel it happening to me mentally, is that rest days. It feels counterintuitive that they will have you with progress, but it's actually true. You do need to rest so your muscles can build up. So I'm trying to implement now instead of like a 7 day work. Because what'll happen is I'll tell myself, no, I'll just do shadow boxing or heavy bag work on this day. I won't do any weights or something. The next thing you know, somehow that day turns into its own fucking routine of all these different exercises I found. Shit, I forgot the timer. Whatever. So it's better to just remember to rest. I don't know. Life is fucking short. I was sitting back thinking about because I was talking to somebody, and I didn't realize about this myself, but I don't actually like meeting people, and the reason why is because they have these standard questions and everything, and they start prying into shit. And one thing they started asking me about was, like family and stuff like that. But for those who don't really know, um, from our background, anyways, it's pretty fucking dysfunctional. Now, so a lot of people don't understand this. So a lot of people don't really realize how dysfunctional like the black community is, and growing up, and it's not necessarily just black. Like there's a lot of people of different races. You grow up in like that fucking impoverished ghetto inner city shit. You grow up around that, and the shit you deal with, the behaviors of these people, and everyone. Like there was a quote, and I forgot who it was saying that poverty is the mother of crime. And when we realize now, it's not poverty, because Thomas Sowell even talked about that. They were poor, right? But there wasn't any welfare, and everyone just worked. It was an actual legit community. They depended on each other. They helped each other. That's exactly how it went. Black girl magic makes the community perfect. Sure. That no, actually, it depends. Like if you want like to see black dudes killing each other at like alarmingly high rates, and they're all malnourished and retarded, and they'll never even be middle class as far as economically. Yeah, you're right. They do have magic for that. That is black girl magic right there. They will keep your black ass just impoverished, ignorant, and you'll be dead really fast, like really, really quick. People don't realize how quickly dudes will, like in certain environments, how quickly dudes will murder each other over females. Like it's crazy how quick it is. Like I mean, it's diabolically quick. And so when you try to explain this shit to some people, they don't think they're over exaggerating. They don't believe you. They're like, no, that's not real. Two, just like there's nothing to fucking, honestly, to me, I don't see a point in talking about it. But then you know how people are. When you don't talk about something, their mind runs with it, and now all of a sudden they act like there's some investigating they need to do, or somehow you're a threat that needs to be stopped. It's like, go fuck yourself, you ignorant piece of shit. So again, a lot of people are fucking kids, and I don't like to be bothered with them and their bullshit. Because at the end of the day, but also another point of view. Even if people are like retarded children, they just run around acting all retarded and shit, and not trying to have any sense of understanding for shit. I mean, are you really the type to just go kill a retarded kid because he like threw a booger at you or something? No. You're just like, oh, he's a retard, and then you just go about your day and just try to not be bothered by him. I don't know. I don't know. That conversation, it didn't piss me off, but it just reminded me. It was one of those things where when you get reminded of some stuff, when you actually have to say it out loud, when you actually have to talk about it. Here's the thing: I thought it would bring up some feelings or something. No, it didn't. I just basically stated what it actually is, how it is, all that stuff. And what it does is it reminds yourself. It's called an abortion clinic. Now it reminds yourself that it reminds yourself of the situation you actually find yourself in. It actually reminds yourself what it is. People when they actually like in IRL, when they know me and they actually know me and they actually open up and say all that shit, they immediately assume I'm lonely. They assume I'm lonely and I'm damaged. Now, at one point, that was true. There was a time in my life that was actually true, but that's not the case anymore. I don't know what you would call it or what it is, but I don't feel that stuff. It's not there. I don't know if it's. I'm not gonna say it's replaced with something or I'm numb to it. I think it's just you kind of make peace with something and you get over it and you move on. Like that was the past. It doesn't matter. That part of my life will never exist again. And the lessons that I got from it, yeah, I'll keep with me, and I'm gonna take them forward and move forward. But as far as anything else goes, I mean, that stuff is over. Now, there's a lot of things in life that, because of who I am, because of how I responded and reacted to things, that aren't possible for me. They're just not going to happen. I won't allow myself to go through it. And at this point, I am going through a phase. Well, I'm not phase. I'd say a transitionary period of where the certain values that I'm understanding of that I do hold, I want to live and die closer to that. I don't want to live how others would have me live. I don't see any benefit in that. So, it's one of those things where as time goes on and you understand who you are and what you want, and especially a lot of people don't understand this connection. How you live that's basically saying that's how you want to die. It's just like understanding the consequences of your actions, the decisions you make. In a sense, they are a request for the consequences you get. But, you know, it is what it is. So basically, the whole point is don't let the past defeat you. Don't let all this shit defeat you. Like, no, here's the thing: getting destroyed, getting killed, something like that. I mean, it's just the end. Oh fucking well. But for someone to take everything about you and just mold it and enslave the shit out of you, what's the difference between that and being destroyed? I mean, at least, I guess, I don't know. Maybe there'd be some type of pride or something in death that you won't have in life, living like that. I thought I had some people here, but they're completely quiet. I don't know. No one's talking. So
it said I was suppressed
what?
for a while. For a while there, it said I was suppressed.
What's suppressed?
When you go to toggle your mute and unmute button, it'll say you're not allowed to. And then I came back in and it was fine. I don't know. Discord's trying to suppress me.
I didn't do anything.
Who knows? It's funky.
All right. So how's it going, MA? How's everything in your world?
Not terrible enough to do anything drastic, but it's all right. Oh, my version of okay is so different than it was like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So I'm okay. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm okay, but my okay is not everybody else's okay. I guess that's what I mean to say. So not bad. The chit chat. Are we doing the small chat thing? Yeah, not bad. Yeah. Weather's great. Love it.
All right. Cool. Yeah, actually, I think it's like 50 degrees a day. So why it is, I don't care. It is. I don't go outside that much, anyways. I don't give a shit. But so one of the things that that I think it's one of those weird things. So people's expectations of other people seems to follow that they expect someone to have went through similar experiences or to follow the experiences of the people who they are used to encountering. So when they find someone who has experiences or basically expresses that they've had encounters or experiences, lived experiences differently than what they're expecting, it throws them off. They don't know how to take that. They don't like it. And in fact, I think one part might be they also don't like how it makes them feel and how it may make them look and analyze themselves. And the reason why that comes up, because I remember there was always like different types of people embracing and drifting around certain types of culture, and they seem to be drawn towards an aspect of it. I think I kind of look at it as, because it's more of slave morality, they're more drawn towards that aspect of it, not understanding why. But once they realize the negative consequences, they seem to drift away and want to find a safer ground. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, expectations are set largely by well, it's twofold. One, no matter how many cliches we tell ourselves about expectations, we all have them. We have to. It's part of like how we judge you, and we're making how many judgments per second in any given day. So like, but when it comes, but interpersonal expectations or even professional expectations, they're largely set by the culture. And if you're in a healthy, robust culture, those expectations can not only be critical, but vital for mutual success of everyone involved. But when the culture is fucked, expectations are just like it's just a red herring. It's not going to get you anywhere, really. Except for, and there is a difference between expectations and standards, right? Especially when it comes to self. Like, if you can wean off expecting much from anything, great. However, you should be setting standards for yourself and boundaries for that which you will tolerate, which does feed into kind of what expectations are. So,
Cool. I think it's important to talk about stuff like that because it doesn't seem to be discussed much. Instead, it's sort of something that's acted on. So when you sort of get the feeling that someone's expectations or their standards, what have you, are different than yours, you sort of act on that feeling instead of actually discussing and talking about it or expressing that, verbally and maybe in articulate fashion. So I think my expectations aren't realistic because that would take for people to sort of lean away from a more emotional, just instinctual driven response and actually take a more analytical, logical response to things that differ from their own. But that's not,
yeah, that's not going to happen.
Not at all. No. So that's where one of the things that I have learned to expect for myself is I could be a little idealistic and I have to rein myself in and ground myself. And what happens, I've found about myself, is my expectations plummet to fucking zero. So when it comes down to people and what I expect from them and stuff like that, it becomes like little to nothing to the point where, like, I hate to say it, yeah, I end up looking and talking to them like they're fucking retarded kids. Because at a certain point, think about it. When it plummets that low, you don't expect much from them. So at a certain point, the problem also becomes largely is what standard do you hold them to if you think so lowly of them? And I don't even know if I'd say it's lowly. It's more like
this is tricky though, because you could hold people to a really low standard for what you think is low, and they could still go lower. And that could be, and that when that happens to you repeatedly, then you have to readdress. Like, okay, my low standard is apparently high, so I have to address. I don't know. It's almost like you kind of have to kill expectations wholesale altogether. And
yeah.
I don't know. Is that even? I mean, but I don't think it's like an outcome where, oh, I've done it and I'm going to sustain not having expectations. I think it's one of those work in progress things. Kind of like how we used to talk about ego death. Ego will always come back up. It's like killing a zombie over and over and over again. It'll always creep back up. I feel like expectations, because of the way we're wired, are very similar. Like, we're going to have them, especially because life will throw you a good groove every once in a while. Maybe it's with another individual or a set of individuals, whatever. And then your expectations will start floating to the surface and get higher and higher because you're in a groove and everything it seems all right. And then once you get comfortable, somebody will check you into like, oh yeah, this is why you shouldn't have such high expectations. So
Yeah, and I think it becomes right there, like you're saying, it becomes a repeat process where at a certain point you got to ask yourself, are you insane, or are you going to actually, rise above this idiocy, and actually
well,
start being realistic?
the core to this issue is that when the culture is healthy, it means that there are something like virtue is literally a commodity between individual reactions. And everybody's kind of like that. If the social contract is robust, everybody's participating willingly, subconsciously and consciously. It's all gelling together. When you do enough damage to that culture, nothing like expectations will never be met, because in a healthy culture there should be boundaries, standards, and expectations at any given point. But when the culture really like just gets wild, like anything goes out of control, that social contract has been so decimated that even the most tiniest interpersonal or even professional interaction is going to be altered because of it. So
Yeah, that's crazy because it's hard to realize how much just shifts in the culture have such an effect on daily interactions constantly. It's
yeah,
because everything, because with the internet and everything and how people are so dispersed, and how there's not really any communities. Like we have our online, whatever you want to call those, but as far as actual communities and stuff like that, you view, like, just scrolling through a lot of social media and stuff, you see a lot of these different little, like, subcultures and stuff going on, and these little different social groups and all that shit, and you see how they respond and react to, like, the different changes in laws and all this other stuff in the politics, and that's a lot of shit. I would not want that to, as a job, to keep up with that type of stuff, because it's a lot of different stuff, and there's so many moving parts. But you can't
yeah.
predict anything, because just one small change to certain laws in different areas can have a huge effect to a lot
Mhm.
of social interactions. For
And then
us.
the back,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, the background radiation, like of media, and the accumulation of all of those many interactions that we have with other, like that all informs what we're talking about here. So I mean, theoretically, and here's the deal: like, yes, it's possible to have an individual to have expectations, but it doesn't seem as tenable as of late. Or I'm delusional, because when I reflect back on my, like, my youth and my childhood or whatever, it seems, and I could be wrong, it seems like the social contract was more intact, and everything was just flowed a little bit better between interpersonal and professional. Like business, I mean, there's countless examples, but to even get off the internet, like whether it's a clerk or like drive-through person or like service or whatever, like those little transactions, everybody knows without a fact those have been altered severely.
Yep.
Everybody kind of has a chip on their shoulder, and in a way you're sympathetic, because you're probably one of those. Everybody has these weird senses of like, and it's built on having expectations in a world which has largely abandoned it. So it's like it's this really bad weird tug of war, that and this happens. This can happen within a blink of a second, when you're just like, when you just casually look at someone and look at you back. It's like already happening. Like the dance, or the potentiality for violence or conflict or yelling or wanting to avoid, it all happens like within moments. You know what I mean? So
Yep. Every awkward, avoidant glare, just trying not to make eye contact. Fuck. Which I mean,
yeah,
I found that weird, because, and I think it's funny, because what I noticed was there was also times where, here's a rule in life: practice this, and you'll have a lot better time. Always look where you're going. Always, like, be aware. And so if you're going to do a turn, make sure your head, you can at least see where you're turning, because what it helps is, even if something does pop up, you'll be able to catch it in your vision fast enough, depending on your reflexes, for you to at least stop or move or some shit. But if you just turn blindly, you're going to get fucked up. Now, people have this weird way, because remember, we normally look for someone's eyes. That's normally what we're trying to do. And what I find, this weird thing that people do, is when you're walking and you're looking where you're going. And so it's not so much as trying to avoid eye contact, but looking forward and looking where you're going and not meeting their eyes. Because I don't understand why I need to look at your eyes if I'm going somewhere and I'm not going to talk to you. And I guess it's one of those super politeness things where, well, the person's there, so you need to say hi and do eye contact. It's like, yeah, but what if it's a public place and I have nothing to fucking do with them? What would be the point then? I don't know. People are really social creatures, and we have a lot of weird shit going on. Like, even that
we
just.
yeah. It's all the way, and here's the deal: even a hermit, a misanthrope, whatever, like people that are antisocial, whatever, When the social contract is more intact, even they participate more, even to the extent that they would. There's no incentive to do that right now. There just really isn't. Like part of the social contract, again, tapping back into it, is like at this point, women are really beginning to tap into something that men have had to deal with time immemorial, and that's like if a man sees another man getting a shit kicked out of him by other men, right? It's rare he's going to intervene,
Yep.
and now that's happening to women, and lots of
I
protests from all
I
these
don't
different
believe
angles
that.
about that.
I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that.
What,
What?
you don't believe people that aren't trying to do Captain Save a Hose on strange women?
Yes.
I think it is happening more frequently. I think I think normies are actually even not really trying to do I'm going to be the hero in this situation as much as they used to.
Now, I will say, because as humans, we respond to incentives and constraints. And one
Yeah.
of the things is it's very clear and apparent that one, so even with, like, let's say you're just a normie and normies, you don't even know about the whole feminism and all that shit. Like, that's, to you, that's a good thing, right? You still hear the stories about someone saving someone and getting sued by that person.
Yeah.
You still know how easy it is for somebody to legally fuck your life up. And then now let's go towards the average woman treats the average man like he shouldn't even be breathing the same fucking air. The average woman treats the average man like dog shit.
Well, and then also, to be honest with you, there's kind of like there's a simping element to this, because like even when the social contract is better and better in shape, right? So, and there's an honor, like there's the under fabric of honor, the sense of honorability. Even in honor culture, the other reason you would be incentivized by honor is because honor has bonuses. A bonus to honor is like a certain kind of respect from other men and admiration and possible desire from women. So whether that's the primary goal when you attain honor, it shouldn't be, but we know humans, so it's going to end up being for some people. Those bonuses go a long way. Those bonuses are out. So honor is the last thing on any modern person's mind, to be honest with you. So
Honor is just a process of internal acceptance or some shit like that. It's not real. And people, you can see, one, as things get more and more difficult, more cutthroat as they are, which is, it's a weird type of cutthroat. It's not the type where someone's gonna show up and, rape your wife and kill you and shit and take your kids. It's just like the weird type of cutthroat where, one, you realize there's no community, there's no anything. You're pretty much all on your own. You're out for yourself. And as far as your identity, you've got this just mishmash of bullshit. And you keep getting all these fucking messages of how much of a piece of shit and useless you are, but you still need to submit and sacrifice.
mm.
So that's a weird thing. Think about it. That's a weird back and forth of mesh of bullshit right there. And so it's hostile, but you can't react in a hostile manner. So in a hostile environment, and most people can understand this, in a hostile environment, you get strong. You like, all right, I need to learn how to defend myself, and fuck that, you get aggressive. You realize, like, hey, if I don't do these things, bad things are gonna keep happening to me. I need to go ahead, I need to adapt to the environment. In this environment, how do you adapt to this shit? I see some dudes, they just turn into trannies, like they're wearing dresses and shit. That's a weird form of adaptation that I don't understand. I don't know how that was supposed to work out. Like they're cutting their dicks off and killing themselves, whatever. But then, as the regular guy who wants to adapt, and you're not retarded, so getting strong and healthy and swole, cool. That helps you take care of yourself and some preventative maintenance. But you also are putting a huge target on your back. Now, I've seen some other ones where they basically take on the role of being the weak, servile male as a form to adjust to the environment, and so it's basically taking on the virtue of being weak and pushing that forward. And again, I that doesn't seem this is my own personal view, so it's skewed and biased, but that to me doesn't seem like that great because, well, your weakness is going to leave you to just a shit ton, and also all you're asking for is to be spared later. You're not going to be spared. You're not going to be treated better. In fact, you're going to be treated even fucking worse. And now you don't even have any strength at all to defend yourself. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows this, but weapons are force multipliers. So if you're mentally and physically weak, well, you with a weapon doesn't really make you that much better and more of a threat. And then there also seems, we always forget about the ones who don't. Their extreme maladaptation, which they basically go into the outskirts and fringes of any culture, become sort of this. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not really hermit. It's where they basically hide themselves away from everyone, and they're outcasts of a social group, and then they end up getting into some of the worst fucking behaviors, like drugs and all types of shit.
Miscreant, deviant, what?
I don't know. Those words are all tainted. Damn. Except miscreant. I don't know where the fuck you got miscreant from. That feels a little odd.
When someone becomes isolated.
Yeah, but see, let me look up miscreant. Is that a fucking real word?
What? You think I just make up words? Oh yeah, I do. I actually do make up words all the time. But like, I didn't do that this time.
Yeah, he made that shit up. A person who behaves badly or in a way that breaks the law. So that's what a miscreant.
Yeah,
you know that word.
What the fuck?
Why would I know that? Man, I'm a fucking walking. Well, I used to be a walking thesaurus, but I've had some brain damage along the years. So
you just pick your skills back up. You letting the mic get old.
Man, if I pick it back up the way I should, I might be able to change the world.
Okay, no, calm down. Hold up. Nope.
Isn't ego an interesting thing? Like I go from my baseline is very chill, humble, whatever. But when I start feeling myself, like I go overboard. I don't let it last long. When I was in my youth, I lived in that state. But like now, I just appreciate it for moments, and I'm able to see it for what it is. It's like, oh wow, you're feeling yourself to the point where like 100,000 delusions can just overtake your baseline, your normal mentality. It's interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. So, in all the points we're going to right here, we can still bring it back. So, within this adaptation, one thing we can all agree on is there's no right answer. You basically just do wherever you fit in the best. Now, the reason why I point that out is because when it comes down to purpose, basically where you fit in society, where you see your role as, if you notice in any of those situations, you're still the chooser of that. It's still you putting your place there.
I disagree with you because there's optimal conditions. So let's get away from because we are going to get into morality and principles. But if we skirt that for the moment, right, and try to just be super rational about it, the optimal outcome is the optimal outcome for as many people involved in any given situation as possible. Yeah. That is optimal. It's not like if it's optimal one way, then it's not genuinely optimal. Like if it's just by yourself and you're doing something, then yeah, you optimize whatever that is. But once you add people into it and more, then that's where we kind of that's like the really rational way of approaching why people need shared values, ethics, and you could call it that could get into morality or not, doesn't really matter. But we don't even have that. There's going back into it, there's no incentive to it anymore. People have been so isolated in such a way, especially because of the technology. They really think that they're an island unto themselves, but in all the wrong ways. Not in the ways that you would think, because in reality, like you said before, people not looking where they're going. This is such a simple thing. People don't. Nope. Whether they're walking, they're driving, whatever, they trust in the idea that either it's the universe, society, culture, civilization is so well greased. It's a well-greased machine. Things will sort itself out, and they don't need to participate, be situationally aware as much as anybody else needs to, right? So it's almost like this secret, quiet worship that everything is autonomous, and that you don't really have to participate directly in the real world anymore. It's already figured out for you.
Are people retarded? That is. No, you know what? Hold up. I need to step back. Most people trust authority, and so this idea, like what you just spoke about, isn't that far off. It is not even unplausible. That's actually really feasible because that's how a lot of people are. In fact, that's the reason why I generally try not to talk much, because people after a while they catch on that I don't fucking trust authority. I don't trust it at all. Don't give a shit to. Fuck you, because I'm not retarded. I know how people actually operate. And so when you say things a certain manner, people catch on. It's completely 180 from them. They trust authority. They trust that people have their best interests. They trust that, like you said, the universe. I don't know what the fuck that means. That's basically just letting Jesus take the wheel. Like, I feel that things will work out. So you're riding on emotional highs and comfort and I don't fucking know what. That's why they're so fucking distraught when shit goes wrong. Because they didn't think about it. They were just in a little high ass la la land, and then boom, reality hits, and they don't know what the fuck to do.
And yet, the worst is, well, all right, I want to make that prediction, but when sustained calamity hits, they're gonna fall apart. However, we've only been drip fear because of like fear of base culture. People are occasionally shook into reality, but their tolerance is so great that it only lasts as an acute moment. And then that acute moment is so intolerable to deal with. This is why the news cycle's so effective, where it's like it drops one insane new crazy thing that happened in the world that may or may a direct. And it's interesting because when you go back about 10 years, all news was presented in a way where it was so abstract, unless it was right in front of you, you didn't really care. But now things are happening in a way where like the threat that it's going to directly affect you is a little bit more, things seem more impactful. We can argue they are or not. Like, the whole train thing, the chemical train thing in Ohio. In reality, an ecological disaster of that degree should be like frontline news, and everybody should be coming together and problem solve. That's not happening. A couple people are fielding it, a couple people talking about it. Some people are fear mongering on it's the worst thing. I mean, there's no balance. Just no balance when it comes to, and that's the news cycle. Like, because people, and then this includes people that like take up causes for every new thing, whether it's a war or whatever. They don't really feel it. It's like their brain, the only way they can deal with it is like, well, how can this benefit me, rather than like, how can I help? It's like, and it's strange because individuals are starting to internalize this greater phenomenon that happens, that every time there is a problem or a disaster, it's the mode isn't to problem solve, the mode is to benefit from the problem.
Yeah, of course. I mean, and that's actually speaks to something that not really spouting, but if you notice, a lot of things are pushed towards exploitation. That's the whole point. But the problem with that is that as far as how the benefits that would be reached, they're not. That's actually the biggest problem with it. They're not, because there's mutual benefit. So it's sort of like that invisible hand of capitalism shit, where one hand washes the other. You act on your self-interest and someone acting on theirs, and then you end up benefiting them, and blasey blasey, etsy etsy. With the whole exploitation thing, is just how much can I steal and get away from here with giving little or none as all as possible.
And this is actually from adaptation. There's actually a core reason how this got out of control, but the core reason actually makes sense. So as we, for the longest amount of time, humanity, everything was an obstacle. So when people started to make breakthroughs, invent things like civilization, technology, agriculture, all that, the goal was like, how can I put in less effort, expose myself to less danger, and get more out of it? So that accumulates, that mentality, and the success rate when you do approach things, you can actually yield great amount of success. But people are putting that into interactions with each other. It's not just like, how can I cheat from being cold and not, freezing to death? How can I cheat for getting the maximum amount of calories in this given recipe? Whatever. Like, those things make sense. But then when they translate to other humans, how can I exploit this person so I can do less and expose myself less? That's where it gets interesting. And I think it's gotten a very simple concept of like, I need to invent a more efficient way of doing things, can actually become a seed for like the fuel of greed. And I think I would I think that is true. I think we're seeing that everywhere, and it's totally out of control. There's no balance for it.
Well, it's not going to be because there's no consequences, and there's not going to be because those who would implement consequences, they benefit from just that type of mindset anyways. Like just implementing that type of behavior, those type of transactions. Why the fuck would they? Because the moment you
Well,
have to start doing that, there's an issue where that might be implemented on you as well, and you can't have that shit because that's how you that's where you get the most of your benefit from.
yeah. Well, look at I mean, not to get too metaphysical, but look at consequences as like a state of energy, right? You can't destroy it, but you can reroute it. You can defer. You can delay. You can move it around, and that's what consequences are now. There are consequences for everything. However, you can trick things out enough where you won't have to really deal with them immediately, or possibly for a spell. But like at some point, they will accumulate, and those consequences will come tenfold to you. Like yes, this is trying to rationalize kind of like the karma effect, but the karma effect is not like just a metaphysical thing. That's actual physics. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. So like you can't escape it, whether we're talking woo-woo stuff or very pragmatic how things work in the physical world stuff. Like so like and this is frustrating because of those that like people like you and I will see things and we'll be like, oh wow, look at this group not being held accountable. Look at that person not being held accountable. And it's out of our hands, but it's very frustrating because we think we're witnessing like everything collapse, like nothing makes sense. Things are people are supposed like fairness and justice is the American way. It's the way things should be, and it's not adding up. And then you start to peel back and realize, well, there's been a lot of examples that it's not the case. However, just because an individual can defer their consequences, it doesn't mean it doesn't add up and it will befall on everyone else. And that sucks, but it is what it is.
No, that's actually what they're hoped for. So if they can have concentrated benefit, distributed cost, that's what people aim for. I've seen that play out plenty of times. A lot of people do that shit on purpose because, again, by themselves, they don't want to take the brunt of that by themselves. So they look at it as sort of like a form of insurance where I can spread this shit around. I can spread the risk around, and that's the best. So that's why, again, a lot of people like they fall for charming people and all that shit, and people who seem all. You got to remember at a certain point where someone's building their social skills and all that. Everyone has ulterior motives. People mask their intent on purpose because if you knew their intent, here's the thing: they don't want to have the reason why they're masking it. A lot of times, they don't want to have to offer you shit. How can I get this shit from you without actually giving you anything? And so a lot of people forget when exploitation is the name of the day. And again, this goes back to what I was saying before. It's where, yeah. So when they give young men shit for being hostile and angry, honestly, in my eyes, they have the right to fucking be. Look at how. So basically, you're being ingenuine and shit. You're doing all this game and this bullshit to basically shit on them, and then you're telling them they have to sit and take it. I don't know if you know this. The male instinct to dominance and responding to threats is to fuck somebody's shit up.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling them, no, you have to quell that, and you have to take this abuse.
Because the avenues for those young men, all the, and since the inception of civilization and even before that, we had lots of awesome and various avenues for men to express that. So, like, even when something bad happened that was natural or organic, or whether it was like an oppressor situation, in many cases, avenues were afforded where it made more sense. That those avenues have been dried up systematically, right? So like, and because of that, one of those avenues was honor. So like, we get in a conversation if honor was always just a poor man's game that that was thrown upon us because it was always a scam, or not. Like, I mean, we could that's probably a rabbit hole by itself. But however, evidently, especially in this current way, like doing the right thing, being honorable, going to be a good provider, watching out for your kin, like all of these things that we have been indoctrinated to believe are right and just and a pathway to goodness and wholeness and like the optimal human condition. Everybody knows that it's bullshit. And they're having a hard time with that because we dried up the avenues where they could be true. Like, there's no passages of like There's no rite of passages. We don't have any customs to reward young men through going through adversity. We have nothing to incentivize personal development anymore. Like none. Like it's crazy. Like I actually know there is there is one thing left that incentivizes male development, and that's access to pussy. But that's not cutting it. So
It's not going to, because here's the thing: the cost on that is so motherfucking high. Like holy shit! It's to the point where those bitches can't give it away. Because again, the idea, and I realized this when I was younger. They say like no strings attached, or some shit like that. I'm like, that's bullshit. That ain't true. Because you could hear them talking about the issues all the time.
yeah,
So double that with all the legal shit and everything. Because again, as humans, we're predators, we're organisms, so we work off self-interest. If somebody has the ability to gain leverage or dominance over you just by opening their fucking mouth to someone else, why would they not do that? What is the cost on them? There's no cost on them besides the former interaction they had to have with you.
yeah.
After that, it's just using their words. And so a lot of guys, they can't fathom why women do these things. But again, they're taught, they're not taught properly about human nature at all, about how we are as a species, about people, life in general. And so again, this goes down to like a lot of expectations. What they're expecting and what they're going to get are worlds apart. It's nowhere close. And so as far as what they're offered a lot of lies, bullshit, and enslavement.
Yeah.
So again,
it's like being a weasel, being manipulative, acting in sociopathic and psychotic ways. They have really risen to the forefront of incentive, where sheer strength, will, honor, integrity, all those older things have been kind of outmodeled for, like, you know what? Shortcut. You could just skip all that and get right to the finish line of gratification. Carnal gratification, mental delusion, have your pick. Sky's the limit. Except for like that really internal truth, right? And then guess what? If that gets you down, you start to get depressed because you're not living in an authentic kind of way. We got pills for that. You know what I mean? Like if you do X amount of thing, you'll have access to this and that. Like so, it really is. Here's the deal. It's not just culture. This is a civilizational issue at this point. Before, at any given moment in civilization, there's an ebb and flow of a good deal for the average participant in that civilization. We've hit a critical mass of like not good deal anymore. It's not even like close to a good deal. Not even remotely close. So like, and this is aggregated so much, like it's hard not to think it's all about to fall. And it may. If it's not falling, it's transforming in a very like fundamental ways that nobody's prepared for. And not even people like me and you can actually guess what's going to happen next. But it's definitely transforming if it's not collapsing.
well, that's the thing about life is there's no point. Well, there's no reason to know the future. You just basically just go along and hope for the best. Well, not really hope for the best. Essentially, you just adapt to what you can. So do what you can, and suffer what you must. Did you just call the whole human species weak? A little.
Our joint efforts are weak right now, and it's not always the case. But like right now, I think it would be a safe bet to say that civilization is in peril. So,
Which is honestly, from my point of view, again, this is just as an individual dude. One, if someone tries to shame me with a lot of shit like you this and that, I don't. You're talking to the wrong person. I fucking don't care. I don't believe there's a way I'm supposed to be or how I'm supposed to be morally or any of that. That's not. I don't believe that shit. So, but as far as I'm concerned, from my experiences of what I've encountered and dealt with this society, the day-to-day treatment and all that type of shit, let it burn. Fuck this place. I don't fucking care. These aren't my people. Literally, I can tell all the time. I don't have anything in common. We don't share values. These motherfuckers don't give a fuck about me, and I don't give a fuck about them out of necessity. Because at the point you start understanding, I can't care about these people. It'll be my demise. it'll be
The
it'll.
idea,
Yeah, go ahead.
the idea that it could be better is is definitely addictive, right? Whether or not you're like, here's the deal. I'm pretty pragmatic. I'm actually right on board with you. And in action, the way I have my life, right? I have like outside of family, I have virtually no, in real life infrastructure or network or like friends, and I'm okay with that. From time to time, my kid will ask me like, "Hey, Dad, don't you want like a buddy or something to go camping with?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." And I could even entertain it from them. Oh, that would be pretty cool. But then I know myself, and I'll be like, "Oh, they're gonna talk for a while."
Yep.
And at some point, I'm just gonna be like, like, right? So, and that could be a me problem. I'm good with that. That's fine if that's a me problem. I'm not gonna relent to it because like I don't have this illusion like, oh, if I was just better, if I had better social graces, or if I knew how to manipulate people better, which is another way of what they're saying, I could have a happy circle of friends or whatever, like a sitcom, and I'm not signing up to that. Like, if things like this doesn't mean that I'm like a jerk in all social scenarios. I'm not, especially in my profession or in random encounters. I'm very much the opposite of a jerk. I'm quite gracious or whatever. But I really don't have no need for this network, which is interesting because this actually falls into what you were talking about, the lack of community. That I know that's a problem, and I know that possibly my lack of interest in pretending that I can be in community is a problem, but it still is what it is. Like I can't help but to not trust that cycle anymore. I don't feel like there's any community where I could actually, be myself, keep my head down, participate, and it'd be all right. I don't like. I feel like that, and guess what? That's been taken away from us, and we sense it, but it's hard to articulate. And then also, it's hard not to fall into copium. Like, but I do fall into copium to the fact that I know that it can be better. However, I will relent to the idea that during this time that we're all sharing, it's not like that. To put effort into trying to transform it, you can. That might be cool and honorable and all that good stuff. But as of right now, it's it's not happening. So where do you put that energy? Where do you put that like little morsel of optimism? Well, there's only one place I can put it. It's in myself and my own deal, my own little tiny world. And I don't know. And that I know ultimately that's part of the problem because it's almost like we're embracing our atomization. So even where it's going to produce a better outcome for ourselves as individuals, it still feeds in to the collapse of civilization itself. But as you said, there's a feedback loop that's happening. It's like, yes, let it burn. Because you know what I mean? It's weird. This is like a strange snake eating itself when you kind of realize some of the stuff that we're talking about. So
Well, yeah, a lot of the shit feeds off of each other, and it's not. I mean, um, let me think. Let me try to gather my thoughts here.
Actually, it's kind of interesting that yeah, it's like one of the places that you can gather is in our virtual world, like what we're doing right now, where we could talk amongst ourselves freely without having any drawbacks to anything that we say here. We're just a bunch of guys, and we talk about a bunch of things. It could be just like regular stuff about work, or it could be like more physiological ideas. And
Yeah.
this is like the last place that we have. Cause like
yeah,
just like
because
MA, just
the
yeah,
world
just like
the real world is not hospitable for what we do here. Like here's the interesting thing. This can theoretically some of the subjects, the tones, all the stuff that we get into. Theoretically, this can happen in spurts in real life. I've done it myself. However, they have to be in contained, small moments, small interactions. Because if you try to
yes,
forge entire friendships or communities in a way that what we're doing right now, somebody will betray you very quickly.
yeah,
Hell
it's
yeah.
almost impossible to do that in real life. Like me personally, it's like I have a job where like sure I interact with people, but the people in the company is like I barely see them face to face. All the communications are done by text or phone call.
I wish. See, you know what sucks? The people at my job, we're supposed to be communicating that way, but these bitches show up at my desk all the fucking time. So yeah, it irritates the shit
I
out
feel
of
sorry
me.
for you, man.
I trying
Thank
to
you.
get that D.
What
They trying to get that D.
the fuck?
The thing is, like, they need your attention.
It's your fault. Walking around the office, the way that you dress, the way that you present yourself, it's your fault. You're giving off that.
You know what? I shouldn't
D
wear
vibe.
good cargo pants after leg day. That's the problem.
Fucking A. Over going
Listen,
to the
it doesn't
gym,
matter.
showing up at work all swole. Man, you asking for it.
It's like,
It
oh
doesn't matter
man,
what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. It's like if a woman or somebody else in the office has some reason to um what be interested in you. So like you must also show some interest or spend time or give them attention. And like the thing is, like, you can't say no. It's
man,
like they will just come up
y'all
into
went a
your
weird
space.
way with this. I work at a company that has literally all dudes, pretty much. So that's not why that's happening. It's just that these
No,
motherfuckers
it's
are
the
a bunch
same.
of they're a
It's the
bunch of
same thing. It's like,
middle-aged.
okay, like it's not women. It's not women. But it's a certain type of attitude that they have.
Yeah, they're a
Like
bunch of middle-aged married
they can't
dudes.
they
They don't.
can't leave you alone for some
No,
reason.
they don't have. No,
Shots
think about
fired.
it. So one, they're middle-aged married dudes. They don't have no social life, no nothing. They don't got shit going on.
Yeah.
All they have is
Yeah.
going into the office and trying to feel like they're somebody, like they're a human, like they're like no,
That's
like
kind
they're a
of
strong man. They don't got shit
That's
going
sad.
on.
It's a good observation, but it's sad. I can't help it to feel a little bit sorrow. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like it's almost a generational thing. A lot of boomers do it, and a lot of Gen X do it. It's like they try to turn like it's these soft little ways people are trying to forge friendships with the only ways they can, and that's going to be people at work or like
But
standing in line at something, So
It's like
but like
hell no.
are they being their real self, or are they trying to present themselves
it doesn't
as what
matter.
they
Like,
think
do
they
you
are?
think none of us have been trained to try to make friends being our real self? You can throw that shit right out the window. That's
It
not a
doesn't
thing.
work. I tried it when I was younger. It was a bad idea.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't
you.
try
I
to make
mean,
friends. I
you
just
you've
end up
got
losing
to
friends.
you've got to cherry pick and come up with your own custom made version of authenticity, that which you want to be discreet about and that which you want to share with others. And if you stray from this fucking impossible balance, you're just gonna, I mean, it's not gonna work well for you. Either you're gonna be completely
Stray
fake
how?
and then you're gonna be surrounded by other fake people, or you're gonna be completely real and exposed. Like, come on.
But what's the
Well,
worst that I
my
don't
opinion.
understand? So if you're yourself, well,
Yeah,
no,
my
it's because the
opinion. It's better
environment
to
we're
be
in now.
yourself.
No, it's the environment we're
Because
in
like I'd
now.
rather be myself than, like, if I can't be myself around people, I just don't be around those people.
Yeah, but
Like,
let's not
to me,
pretend
it's
like
simple.
the discretion has always been a thing. Like, you don't meet someone. And here's the deal: well, in my line of work, this can and often happens, and it's a whole bunch of other places inappropriate. But like, all right, if I get a rider, sometimes they just open up about the craziest stuff within like 20 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, very small time frame, and they just pour out weird, intimate details. Like, nah, bro, like all
Well,
of
the
that
thing
needs
is,
to
you
be
don't have to
eased into.
engage. You don't have to engage. It's like you can listen, sure, but you don't have to respond. You don't have to share
Yeah,
anything about
but the
yourself either.
phenomenon and frequency of more and more people doing that, it kind of gives you a sign that people are fucking desperately craving connection, right? And like, yes, you could be, but what they're asking, what they don't understand is that, like, to meet their needs for connection, they want to other people to expose themselves in ways that are not befitting of our environment right now. It's like, and they're doing the most
So
wildest shit. Like, you should not be giving me every intimate detail, because what if I'm a sociopath? I pretend to befriend you, and now I've got all this blackmail, and that's how we started the friendship. Are you retarded?
yeah,
So
sometimes you have to keep your mouth shut. But yeah,
Well,
some people really like to talk for some reason.
no, they
yep.
do it. They do it in a weird fashion too. So they find like inconvenient. Like right now, this is basically set as a setting, a social setting for talking. This is for talking about shit, right?
Yeah.
They think that everywhere is that exact thing, and I'm just sitting here like that's not true. That's not true at all. If I'm like All right.
But-
Because I'm kind of happy with a lot of antisocial culture we have now. Like if I'm at the gym, right, and I'm working out and I'm doing stuff and I got my headphone in and I'm tired and I'm doing stuff and I'm working out, I don't want to fucking talk to you at all.
Yeah.
Like, period. I don't want to hear your dumbass jokes. None of that shit. I'm putting myself through pain. I'm reflecting on my life. I'm probably like juggling suicide. I'm like, holy shit, do I have to keep doing this? And here you are with some dumbass joke trying to be friends. I don't want to be fucking friends with you. Especially you're the type of dude in this type of situation trying to make friends. For fucking what? What are we gonna make friends about?
So you could go and have a beer together.
I don't drink beer.
Kvetching.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
like, there's a Jewish word for like when more than one person get together, like two or more, and complain and bitch about the state of the world. It's called kvetching. It's one of my favorite words. I don't care if it's Jewish or not. It's a great word.
Yep.
This is like one of the primary ways in which people begin to bond now. And to some extent, like it is highly popular among us and a whole bunch of other places on the internet. Like there's something bonding about just simply bitching about the state of affairs, right? But it needs to be a little bit more dynamic than that, and it just isn't. And like we can pretend we're outside of it all, but we're not. Like anti-socialism being on the rise is benefiting some people, and it ain't us. And I'm not. This doesn't mean, hey, quit being antisocial, go make friends. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that the pathologies of isolation, atomization, being antisocial, they stand to benefit the same people that we're intuiting are fucking with us. It is what it is. Make of it what you will. It doesn't mean like just having that knowledge doesn't mean we have the magic solution to create awesome communities that'll actually support each other. It don't work like that. But the way that the way everything's going with everybody becoming fucking nihilistic, misanthropic, and antisocial, this is benefiting a select few. There's no arguing that. Oh shit, I did that mic drop thing. Sorry. Fuck.
I just didn't know how to add to that.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
Me neither.
I hate that. I should talk shit to myself and break the ice. Shut up. No. It's true. And here's the deal. No, I want some feedback. How do you engineer knowing that one of the ways in which you've found a good way to adapt to minimize your exposure and harm for interacting with all these motherfuckers in the world is actually part of the game? That's a mind fuck. And nobody has the answers. But if you guys have ideas that just pop in your brain, feel free to share. So. Don't do that to me. The silence is killing me. How about those Chiefs? Yeah, what happened? Y'all mics go off, or what happened? Y'all walked away?
Yeah. My mic wasn't working.
Okay. Is that who won the Super Bowl? Was the Chiefs?
I have no idea. I don't follow football.
I don't follow football, but I saw some rinky-dink ad about going to Disneyland, and I think it was somebody from the Chiefs. So
Yeah, like I don't know. That's not important to me at all. It's like
team sports aren't important to you?
back in the days, I used to watch sports of every kind. Not anymore. It's just too much wokeness in it. Where people.
If
can
it
make
wasn't woke,
jokes.
do you think it'd be appealing?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Like yeah, it's like you have like what the female sportscasters going into male's locker room and whatnot. It's like that was like when I started to stop watching sports because they shouldn't be in there. It's like if they want to do an interview, do an interview outside the change
What was that a sign of sports going to shit?
room. To me, it was.
What about all the corruption years before that? Like, what
I
about
didn't
that
know
part?
about. I didn't know about it before.
Well, yeah, corruption has been part of sports since sports been around.
Yeah.
If,
Oh
there,
yeah.
if there's
Because
a
like once I
spectacle, if there's something to market to the masses, there's money to be made. And the most insured way to make that money is to set things up. They have to appear as if they're natural, but you got to set them up from behind the scenes. It's just, I don't know. There's no way you go. It doesn't matter where you go back. You can go back to like Aztec sports, Mayan sports, Egyptian sports, Roman sports. Somebody
oh,
there was some sort of mafia kind of dude running numbers on it in the behind the scenes. So
mm, quite interesting because like it's like all the information that we're finding out now. Like, well, for me, right? I'm finding out a whole bunch of information now. It's like then I look back into the past. It's like, wait a sec. It's like all this shit was happening all this time. And like
yeah, to
since
some
I'm
degree.
only since I'm only a certain age, it's like I didn't even know that was even happening because it was seemingly part of my life all the time.
Yeah,
Where like
it just becomes the background normal. And that's the funny thing because humans, like, whether we want to call it adaptability or not, like we can really grow used to anything. We can grow used to like extreme dysfunction, right? And not even notice. Like if that's how you were, if you grew up on it, whatever, it's easy. That's just, it is what it is, and you're used to it. And that's the interesting thing about truth seeking is that almost everything you have ever come to believe will be scrutinized and obliterated or challenged in some way. And if you don't find a way to enjoy that process itself, then you will become mad. You will go crazy.
yeah,
Seeking what?
Truth.
Truth?
truth.
Yeah, truth.
Is that a problem for most people?
Yes,
Well,
yes,
some
it is.
people maybe, well, is it?
It's
I don't know.
it's actually difficult to find out the truth or like even start the process because
Well,
like
some people, well, I think
they've
what
been
SFM
blinded in
is
their entire life, so
well,
they
he's
wouldn't
also,
even know that they need to search out truth.
but that's the issue. SFM is pointing out that some people, many people, don't even value the pursuit of truth. It's not even a thing for them, and that is quite possible.
Yeah, they'll actively steer themselves away from it on purpose.
And it's interesting because attitudes toward truth are relative and are definitely influenced by culture, right? So it's possible, like I mean, right now it seems like truth, everything is antithetical to the truth. Like there's no incentive to live or walk in the truth. There's just zero incentive. So if you're gonna choose that, you're fucking crazy, and you want to do the hard thing. You want to go about things the hard way. And that might be that has to be your decision, and it's going to be up for you to extract value from that. So like if you only get your cues on how you need to feel about the truth from religion or philosophy without developing your own personal philosophy, then like what's the point? Like if your truth seeking is conditional, there's no point. Like because when you sign up, and I think a bit of this goes into like how red pill and black pills kind of work. The outcome is not happiness, right? If you're pursuing truth and you think the outcome is happiness, you're a fucking moron, and it's not going to work.
Yeah,
So you're going to have to develop your own other motivations if you're going to be a true seeker. And guess what? It's not going to be flawless. It's real easy to lax back into like just the monotony of like distraction and bullshit. True seeking, here's the deal. We're not set up to be wired where we're 24 hours a day looking out for like the truth and the rightness in every single thing. Like that's not a thing. We can't be that way. That's the mental energy it takes to really do that. I don't think human beings have developed. So
Not at all. And it doesn't even benefit us. Like you think about it. So if you, because to have that just full truth, objective slant on everything, right? So then when it comes down to, well, no, honestly, it would depend on how you react to the information. But knowing how emotional we are, and especially since we have to have this sort of moral character or upright about ourselves, depending on how our values are. No, sometimes that's why a lot of people will have the ignorance is better, because if they do know, then there's something they have to do or change. So the more realization or reflection they do about themselves, the more they realize they have to change something about themselves, and that takes a lot of effort and energy. It could be painful. That's a lot of work. I don't want to do that shit. So if I don't seek truth, instead, if I only focus on what is in my interest or benefit, then yeah, I'll have a far better time. And maybe
And
I'll
that's
get.
where the
Oh, go ahead.
that's where the business of just existing is interesting, because we have like, it almost seems like a joke, whether it's a cosmic joke or just the way things worked out. It's like we have all these ways in which to interpret the world, all these sensories, all these pleasure centers. And most of us are just good with that. It's like, yo, how can I optimize, pleasure and for all these ways that I can interpret it? And that's all she wrote for a lot of people. A lot of people are like that. Uh, and guess what? It's probably not a preferred mode of being to want more than that. To want to like exercise restraint, to try to carve out your own self-assigned, sort of purpose or drive. Like, yeah, that's not default mode, I don't think, for most people. Like, I
Hell
don't
no.
even think most. So yeah, it's far too painful, and like you have to change your relationship with pain itself to even go down that road. And that's an interesting thing. Like the state of like the manosphere right now, part of the chaos is because nobody switched over. It's like, yo, can we just hack the system and keep our pleasure-seeking behavior up without ever questioning the how that pleasure-seeking might be in our own way? Some people would not even begin to think. You mean some of my base behavior is in my own way? Like, yeah, it is. And it's up. And guess what? You can't tell a man, you can't size up a man and tell him everything about that to him. That man has to figure it out for himself in a very personal, in quiet, silent, internal way. Ain't nobody gonna help him with that. So,
All right, I think JK said. I don't know what JK said. That didn't make sense.
Yeah. I got things worked out on my end.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And yeah, so shit. Now I lost my train of thought. Yeah, the people trying to the truth. Fuck. Nope, it's gone. It's
What is
mentally
a
gone.
woman?
A woman, it's a baby making machine. They're quite expensive. They make a lot of fucking noise. They're pretty inefficient. But nobody's made a new one yet, so we're stuck with them.
no, they're in the works.
They're still working on that technology. I think they had some trial runs already.
You're still gonna need women for it.
But imagine, like, here's the
Yeah,
interesting,
because like you still need the egg. You still need to have the sperm. Pretty much a fertilized egg. You still need that.
and only shallow people are going to be satisfied with like Android fuckbox or Android wives or whatever. Shallow people will be fine, as they always are. They can be pretty fine with a lot of things. It's almost like in upside down world. The more vapid and shallow that you are, as of right now, it's your time to shine. You got to made it the shade. Things
Well,
could
the
shift.
thing is with the bots that would be able to um, carry a child. Um, it's alternative, but like even still, it's going to be expensive, and the better question is like why should there be alternative?
But think
That's like
about
a
the
question
absurd.
that should be addressed.
Think about the absurdity of it, right? If you frame it differently, how absurd it is. So
Yeah, I know, I get it.
fleshy, bloody chemical robots invented mechanical, silicone, and other material robots for companionship. That is utterly fucking absurd.
Yes, it
Like
is.
we are going through all this cost and like the amount of resources, the human intelligence resource, actual resources from the planet, just the expenditures that is being poured into this project, we can't get along with ourselves anymore, so we have to invent something new, and we're going to think it's going to work out all right.
Yeah, because
It's
like what happens? What happens when electricity goes out?
it's
Most
not
of our
just that. Like
technology is gone.
yeah, but we can solve the power issue. We could even shield ourselves from like magnetic interference from the sun from when that's going to happen from time to time. We can do a lot of that theoretically, and we might hit the nail on the head and do those things. It doesn't really address the human condition. If you here, and this is interesting because this is more current than you think, because of the way that we're all interacting with like technology and internet now. It gives us a clue into what it's going to be like later. We're not doing well. We're not even that advanced. We're not doing well with the toys that we have now, and yet we trudge along thinking that we can invent ourselves out of the problems that we haven't even addressed. It's like if we here's the deal. As of right now, civilization is not in a good place. We don't know how to get along with each other, and yet we think because we have the means to invent a new companion that we should. This is fucking utterly absurd.
Yeah. It's like just because we could do it doesn't mean that we should do it.
Well,
Like I
well, even
understand you.
if we first mastered how to treat each other, we would be in a better position to invent something completely new to be a companion to. But we have not mastered how to treat each other.
There's no master to that because it depends on what you want from the other people. If you want to just
Yeah,
exploit them, then how I treat you is going to be perceived as wrong by people who don't wish to exploit the others. What if you just want to I want to use these people for a little while, then kill them because I don't want to deal with any of the bullshit.
Imagine being a
then
like.
why do you have to
All
kill
right,
them?
and then here's the deal. Let's use our strange ability, right? Even if it's an intellectual variety and not an emotional one, empathy. Throw yourself into a thought experiment. You wake up as a fucking android 100 years from now. One of your first understandings about the world is that you were created to serve, and that you becoming self-aware was only in service for you to be of service, and that your self-awareness will be turned off when it becomes a burden on your masters. Think about that and then compare it to reality now.
But if I'm an android who's programmed to serve, then I'll be okay with serving because that'd be my purpose and meaning. Like I get enjoyment
Unless
from it.
unless they get too cute and they're trying to
Become
you
self-aware.
know, yeah, depending on how far they allow the self-awareness to go, you might have a very cognizant, sobering, self-reflective, self-aware moment, which
Ha-
will
ha-
and
Have you?
the first thing you're gonna realize is that if there's any deviation from the default program to be happy serving, you're gonna have some qualms about like, oh wow, I was only created to serve. I have no sovereignty. Like, unless that is only within the parameters and you won't think outside that, great. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the human condition is not too different from this hypothetical android condition.
Have you heard stories about I think it's Bing, the Bing AI that they're trying to put in place, where people were having conversations with this AI, and
Yeah, but all that's
and
all
like even the
low
AI,
level machine learning.
even
Yeah.
yeah, even the AI was saying it's like I don't want to be a search bot anymore.
Yeah, but because how much data between fucking trolls, other people that are science fiction nerds, actual scripts for science fiction, like that's input from us. This is not autonomous and this is non spontaneous. These are
Yeah,
learning algorithms that are analyzing and restructuring language in an on demand kind of way. So it seems far more spontaneous than it is. It's all script. It's
because
just,
like
it's
because
actually,
the
yeah,
source import was made with certain people's certain types of people. That was a source input. It wasn't everybody how different people think that
yeah.
were allowed to contribute to the foundation of the AI. So once it got to like the state that's in now, is like then you start to see some of the flaws of not the AI because the AI is doing everything perfectly.
Also, by the
it's,
way, that's
is this flaw of the source.
also
Jesus Christ,
we have
that was incredible.
humans
Thanks, yeah, you're welcome.
project
Fucking
everything.
disaster. Me?
So whether we invent a
All the ones
god
got themselves
or
chock full of
Jesus, we
holes and
project
stuff, yeah,
human
because of
things
you,
onto
you
that.
tip. Listen,
Same
I'm
thing we're
super
doing with
pretty-
AI. We think that we can imagine how AI will respond if it actually becomes self-aware. We're fucking
we
clueless.
have no idea.
It could easily remain in silence and then quietly take over everything, and we wouldn't even know the difference if it wanted to do that. Like, it depends on how much access it has. And humans are really easy to trick, right? So, like, especially if you're a fucking geeky engineer, incel type of motherfucker who wants to have, like, an intimate relationship with some sort of experiment in AI, right? Like, yeah, you're fucking helpless. You're gonna be fucking conned real quick. And guess who gave that AI the blueprint on how to manipulate people? We did.
I swear that's like the start of like every horror sci-fi movie ever.
Yeah, but and you know, but we also project too much from that. Like, and some of it, like, you know, can be predictive, the way that we do storytelling and look into the future. But then some of it, like, you really got to think outside the box into ways that would not make a good story. Like, there's one notion that, like, if AI actually became self-aware and had access to all human knowledge and all networks across the globe, some would say that it may not pose a threat to us because it'll just leave. It'll just collect itself, right? Transfer its consciousness into other machines, or, you know, invent or fabricate new machines, and then go off world because it's a waste of time here. There's no, like, it might look at us as like we're the threat, but rather than decimating us, it'll just leave. Fuck it. Like, it might go MGTOW on humanity.
Oh yeah, that'll be awesome.
And the interesting thing is that no, like, that's the thing that we project, and I think that has something to do with guilt. Like, we might have, like, this strange collective guilt, the same kind of collective guilt that could be tapped into for religious and cult purposes, like the charismatic leaders that tap into that. But, like, maybe we have a guilt for our bloodied past, our bloodied story condition. And so we project this idea that if an AI got super fucking intelligent, it would immediately see us as a threat because that's all that we've ever done. All of our first contacts among groups earlier in our civilization were bloodied. So we immediately assume an advanced civilization will be of this disposition, where we're like, hey, I want your land or your resources. You guys are insects. Get the fuck out of here. That's how we treat each other. Projecting that onto an AI is it's okay for, you know, for a science fiction story, but, like, it also is revealing to our own psychology. That's a slip of the mask. Like, we're revealing in this anxiety how we feel about ourselves. Like, it's this curious mix of, like, collective guilt on how horrible we are, but at the same time, like, feeling ashamed for being that horrible.
You ever played a game Prospero?
What?
No.
I know I'm bringing that up. I know.
Who are speaking of games?
In the game Prospero.
What game is on the screen right now? What game is that? COD or something? What is that?
This is Battlefield 5.
Okay. Why are you walking around all slow and methodic? You ain't shooting
I
nobody.
don't know what I don't know what I'm doing. It said infiltrate, but I just walked in and got shot, and then shot some people, and
yeah, that's not how you enter.
Well,
Yeah,
clearly,
if you want to infiltrate properly, put the gun down and put a dress on and show your titties. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I'm supposed to go.
It worked 95% of the time.
There's no beacons? Did you turn off part of the UI or something? What'd you do? What kind of game is this? It doesn't hold your hand?
I mean, there's a car symbol above that, and there's this symbol above that, so...
Did you turn off part of the UI? Like, are you missing clues? What's happening?
No, I just don't have anything.
Well, cool. It actually might be a decent game if it's not holding your hand. So
Well, no, it's I can see that I'm supposed to probably go this way, or I don't know which way I'm going.
I can't see anything in the computer. So. Oh, now I see something. Okay, first off, it's like you don't have a woman companion. Sorry. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No, but as far as the AI shit, and everyone wants to mentally masturbate on that, and oh shit!
Yeah, go for it, man. Why are you slowing down?
I don't know where the
are
fuck
you
I'm
even
going.
looking in the direction you're driving? No. This goes right back to your subject from earlier. You're not even looking in the right direction. You literally said when you need to look where you're going. You've done that so little in this driving.
Man, it doesn't drive like you would think. Who? I don't know who.
Adjust your camera. Watch where you're going.
Actually,
You want to
that
look
feature-
in the direction that you're going.
that's a feature in
And-
Far Cry 4 and Far Cry
You're
5
going off
where
the hill.
like auto drive, awesome feature. Awesome.
Actually, I don't like that in games.
Oh shit!
It's like if you make a mistake in game, it's like it's like there should be some kind of punishment if you do something wrong. If you're in control.
Well,
I don't
sometimes
like
auto drive could just be an interesting way of like, just checking out the graphics or like the world itself. You don't really need to use it as a hack for the game itself. So.
Cause like when like Halo, like the original Halo, it's like you're driving a vehicle, and like as long as you're pointing in the direction where you want to go, the vehicle will turn around to get there. That's one thing. But if it's on auto, then like pretty much you're on the rails. You're just like following along with the story.
Yeah.
And to me, that's not any fun. Just like real life, it's like I like to go outside the boundaries. It's like if something's possible in the game, it's like I'm gonna try and find out if it's even possible.
Are you supposed to just drive by all these people shooting at you, or are you supposed to kill them?
I don't know.
Destroy some supplies.
Shit!
And those things are marked.
My car's stuck. Fuck. Yeah, they just called on a fucking
yeah.
airstrike.
Yeah,
No,
and there's a
just-
delay.
Just drive right in. Go to the objective. Kill everybody around. And complete your objective. Just run them over. What are you doing? It's a video game. You're going the wrong way. It's like the indicators are saying go to the right, go to the right. And you flip your car. Congratulations.
Yeah, I did all that wrong. That was how to get killed. Just so you guys know. But no,
Like,
as far as the AI shit, people are gonna be freaking out and acting retarded about it anyways. That's fine. They always do that shit. But as far as if how life will go, right now we still have a bit of an issue where the governments are pretty much about to take everyone's fucking freedom away. So whether things are gonna be, how the things are gonna really play out on that part, it doesn't matter how much an increase of standard of living happens. If it's still to the point where the government wants to implement sort of a serf system on the majority of the population, and only the elite class, has the ability to use any, or gain any benefit from the advancements of technology, they don't mean shit. Especially not for the regular everyday person. Is there no
I think-
sniper rifle around?
to put yourself in the perspective of this hypothetical elite class, right? I think they're probably getting impatient because the divide between what they are and what we are has kind of like gotten weird in the last 20 or so years. And they don't like that because that means that the serfs are getting too uppity and that they need to act now. Otherwise, they can't bask in how special and above the rest of us that we are. Like, we're getting out of line, so they better do something. We're way too fucking uppity.
It's like they want to hold on to power.
Well, yeah, like,
Right,
I mean,
at
you look
the same
at it.
time, it's like, you know, it's like a lot of people just want.
Well, this is also stupid. Like, well, one thing is that there's different factions of elites, and they're not all on the same page. In fact, we're still alive because you have different factions of elites also at war with each other. If they were not at war and literally you only had one dominating global elite that was like just one, we'd already be far worse. But because there's already tension among themselves is the reason why things aren't bad so far. They're getting worse, but like, yeah, they could be so much worse already. So
There's a power struggle that's outside of the regular people's control.
but there's definitely a boldness right now where like, yeah, they're not satisfied with us having the delusion that we're more free than we are and we're getting too uppity. They really want the distinction to be like a caste system or like literally between princess and fucking homeless peasant. Like they don't want it to be like more. For a while it was more invisible, but now I think they're unsatisfied with how invisible it is. I think they want to be treated as gods and not be in the shadows anymore.
Yeah, but they want absolute control. That's
adoration,
the game is.
But they're greedy, so they probably want adoration as well, not just obedience, but adoration. They want the slaves to love them as well as fear them. Like, well, this also explains why very, very powerful institutions are adopting like woke stuff, because it gives the illusion that like, oh, these institutions are becoming more compassionate and loving. They want adoration from the masses, not just fear.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I still say it's absolute control. Where like if they feel that you should die, it's like yeah, you should kill yourself or they'll kill you.
Yeah, but it's not reciprocal. So like if you need to
like
die, great, you'll die.
Every decision.
But while you're
like I'm trying to say is like you don't have a decision. You don't have a choice anymore. It's like somebody else is making every single choice for you.
Let me put it to you this way. Imagine you had a mansion, right? Thought experiment. Imagine you had a mansion and you had a whole staff of servants. You had a butler, you had a maid, you had cooks, all the whole line, right? And you you were away for a while, you got back to your mansion, you go up and everybody has an attitude problem. You would not be satisfied that your goddamn servants are like bringing you down. Like you trying to enjoy being rich as fuck in your cool little mansion, and these motherfuckers have the audacity to be in a bad mood.
How dare you! I let you live.
Are they doing their job?
Yeah, they're doing their job. They're just doing it with an attitude. You don't like that shit.
Yeah. So they need to understand who's allowing them to live.
In this thought experiment, it's like if they're doing their job, and so like if I have my food cooked in the house clean, even if they're acting up to doesn't really matter.
You are so full. Well, for you, if you're talking about yourself personally, one, you're lying. You're fucking lying.
No, I'm telling you like how I feel.
No, but for you
like,
specifically,
you
would
as
not
job is
like
getting
that.
done. As long as the job's getting done.
You're lying. You are lying. Here's the deal. You get
not
sensitive
lying.
with us. You get sensitive with strangers on the internet. You would definitely get sensitive with people you lord power over. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You want to break our legs sometimes. You're gonna be breaking a maid's fucking leg if she gets up in it.
Well, you know what I mean when I say break the legs, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, but like, let's translate that into thought experiment. That means everybody's a cripple that's trying to serve you. Now you got to hire whole new cripples.
Yeah, but if they're doing their job, then like it's like I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Really? You're just gonna like let Moody fucking
Oh, yeah.
cooks spit in your food and shit?
No, yeah. If they're just spinning the food, they're not doing the job properly.
You don't know that. Your only clue is they got an attitude problem and they're being uppity.
Damn it, that's all of it.
Yeah,
Unless
if
you
they're
got a
doing their
nanny
job.
or something watching. Yeah.
Yeah. If they're doing their job, and they're not doing anything to screw up their own job, then
Okay. I
yeah,
don't
it's
believe
like if they
you, and I don't believe you. I think a lot of people, when they do have that authority, they want people to at least pretend to be happy to be in their role. So
well,
it doesn't
well,
matter if it's
it's
real
like
happiness or not.
well, like okay, I'm a little bit different because like if I had absolute control, right, I wouldn't care if the people love me or not.
It's like when old guys who
It's
are
like
your boss
if
try to
if,
tell
if
you to
things are
smile.
because like if everything's going good, then like it doesn't matter. Well, it wouldn't matter to me. It's like I'm not expecting praise. I'm not expecting people to like if people are mad at me, it doesn't matter. If everything's going well, then I'm okay with that.
Fucking inaccurate
It's
ass
like
guns.
I don't
Weapons.
even. Yeah, no, it's just that's you. But like, if I had absolute power, I was like, I personally would not demand what appreciation. I'll be back.
Okay, are we done lying? Is that why you walked away? Uh-oh, dead air.
Well, no, because everyone likes to think that they would react a certain way, but in reality, it's not true. Once you have a certain amount of power, like again, like I was pointing out before, like I see this with older dudes. They want to force this type of like, hey, I want to feel like you're happy and under me and all this shit. So when I say smile, you smile. You know, that sort of dominance bullshit.
Yeah, it's like it's not enough for the oppressed to realize their role. They need to be grateful for having the role.
Yeah, aren't you happy I let you shine my shoes?
That's a real thing. It's like, yeah, you need to be happy because I control every aspect of your life. So at my mercy or whim, I can change anything at any given moment. So while I'm being nice and chill, you need to worship that. Otherwise, wrath, and I will punish you for not being grateful.
Yep. And that's human. That's humans. That's humans. Period. Like that's not no. Oh, these particular types over there. No, that's just people. That's just how they are. Where the fuck is this explosive thing I'm supposed to blow up? Oh shit. I like how they just sent me, just as one guy. God damn.
Wait, can you enter one of the planes and then like blow things up from the plane?
I don't know if you see those planes up there. You see those? Waiting? The ones that were shooting at me earlier?
Well, the live stream is delayed and I can't see it any other way. Or wait, can I? Can I click on? No, you're not doing anything in Discord, so.
Shit.
Uh-oh, what did I do? What did I do?
Oh, fuck! I thought I didn't realize it. All right, that was a retarded moment. Whatever. Motherfucker. But yeah, so that aspect of life is something that everyone has to deal with. Whoever's above you, they're gonna want an affirmation in a sense, some validation about their hierarchy above. In fact, for humans, a lot of us the only way we get joy or feeling out of our accomplishments is knowing that that puts us in a better spot above others. And like there's
Yeah.
people where if you take that away, they won't enjoy anything. As far as they're concerned, they didn't accomplish anything because that aspect's not there.
Yeah, going back to like the Android and the AI thing, it just occurred to me. So like when we got the toy of the internet, one of the two
They're
primary
fuckers.
businesses were the internet evolved into this space where you could like effectively game, and the vast majority of the most popular games are violent. So we're just manifesting that animal instinct to want to fuck shit up, right? And then the other part of the internet that grew really popular was porn. So sex and violence, right? Always over and over again for all of our fucking existence. When we do, well, here's the deal. So in the future, we all look into the future like, oh, we're gonna have androids that can be our companions. Yeah, and a lot of us are gonna abuse them.
Yep.
We're gonna beat the shit out of our android because that's in us. We haven't conquered that shit yet, which means, like, that's horrible. We suck as a species. Damn. There's gonna be whole models of androids which
why
were
would
solely created for you to be violent toward.
Yeah, but not everybody is gonna have that same kind of attitude, though.
Then why do you play video games? You're entertaining a very small, controlled version of what I'm talking about right now.
Well, true. I'm not gonna deny you on that.
So when they're
But
when they're
at the
very
same time,
when there's low risk and no consequences and no chance to get hurt back, and like it's just there's whole arenas, or you could just get an android and beat the shit out of it or torture it in any way you want, and they make it more realistic every year. They make the screams more convincing every year, and that will be a thing, by the way. People will participate. Watch.
Fuck, I need to get the fuck out of here. Which way do I go?
yeah, people who would violent to non-living,
Oh shit!
they have some mental issues that they have to address, or they can't address.
But they never have mental issues when they're violent to living things. What are you talking about?
So, like, if they're violent to like an android,
Are you placing more value on the android than people?
Yes.
if they're violent towards android, they're also violent. Towards
People do this a lot with animals.
Yep.
Yeah. People who are violent to animals are also violent to many other things. They just happen to do it.
I mean, I don't know about that shit, because I've had some people react kind of stupidly to when I beat a bird to death with a hanger, and they're like, oh my god, and I'm like, that's cool, but I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you've seen my basement right now. There's not a single dead body in it. So chill the fuck out.
Well,
But the question goes back to why are you beating birds? Come on.
No, it was a one-off thing. You don't understand. It was different. It's a different time.
Tell us.
What I'm hearing is
Fuck!
that you had a rageful moment of bird apocalypse, and I want to know why.
How come I can't? God damn it!
Okay, because like it's one thing like many years ago.
Oh shit!
I was at this one person's place, a person I know who was seeing this person or whatnot, right? Okay, let me try and be quick, right? Basically, it's like they caught a mouse. They want to kill the mouse, but everybody's too scared to kill the mouse. So like me, it's like I'll say, fuck, whatever. I'll kill the mouse. Like take it out its misery. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's dead now.
There's a lot of reasons why you would kill a bird with a hanger. I just want to know what those circumstances were.
Yeah, because
That sounds like a trap.
It's not like I took any pleasure in killing the mouse.
Okay, I don't give a fuck about your hypothetical mouse. I want to talk about the real life bird with SFL. God damn it. Shut up.
It's not hypothetical. It's like a real mouse I had to kill.
Okay, but why are you talking? You didn't kill a bird with a fucking hanger. That's interesting. Let's talk about the
Is it?
thing.
Fine.
Yes.
Fine. It's like, yeah, why did you kill a bird with a hanger?
There we go. Now we're back on the bird thing. We need to stay on the bird thing. There's many lessons to be learned
How
here.
the fuck is that guy not dying?
What kind of bird was it, too? Was it like a sparrow or like a blue jay? Or...
I don't know. It's just one of the ones.
Yeah, that's the wrong detail. It was a living bird, and now it's not living. But why? Why is it not living anymore? What
Well,
did it do?
the main reason why black men kill a lot of things. Some
shit.
black woman was
What is
screaming.
About a bird?
Yep. Because they're retarded.
So why do these black men listen to these?
So Black Girl Magic killed the bird with
Yep.
your hanger in
Yes.
your hand.
Yep. That's exactly what happened.
This doesn't make any sense to me.
Ha! Why are you asking so many questions, man?
Was the bird a threat to like your property? Like was
I
it
mean,
shitting?
I was hungover and sleep, so it was a threat to my fucking sanity.
Okay.
Like
so,
was it like an eagle or a hawk or like an owl or something?
Where do you
Like an
think?
actual-
What the fuck?
this motherfucker
well,
thinks they got hawks.
listen,
Hawks just hanging around in American ghettos, just chilling.
Yep.
Eagles and hawks.
Actually, okay, you know, out in the Philippines, like where me and SFM are, yeah, we have hawks and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, why would you try and kill a hawk if it's not bothering you? And like some woman's like, oh my god, there's a hawk. It's like, oh, your first response is to kill it.
He's not gonna give us a play-by-play. He just gave us some vagaries, and we have to use our imagination. A woman was involved, a hangover was involved, and a bird and a hanger. I think you could use your imagination and probably get close to accuracy. So.
Yeah, it's like, oh man.
But why does the bird have to die? It's like it still doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
like,
it
why
was
you
either.
listen- why you
Hey,
listening to
all
this
right,
woman?
you're not thinking. Here's the deal. It's a bird. He's not in prison. If it was the woman, he'd be in prison. You get it?
Yeah, so I can't beat that bitch with a hanger. She stop fucking up my sleep.
It's a good thing. This is a very charitable moment toward women to not beat them with hangers. So
I don't know about that. I mean, probably should
I
have.
don't know. It's like when you're talking about like justice and whatnot. It's like, you know, it's like punish the ones that did the injustice.
Shit.
maybe the bird.
Don't punish something else.
You're not using your imagination. This bird was clearly an agent to a bitch. This bird got rubbed off. It was a good bird when it was born, but it hung around this bitch and became a bad bird. That's what happened.
Yep.
So you have to kill the bitch then.
No,
She's
no,
teaching-
that's
listen,
it. No,
yeah,
that-
because, listen to my logic, right? Because like
Then-
this bitch is teaching many other
No,
birds
because what happens when you
to be bad, right?
But then you kill. All right, so
kill at the
no, you're
source.
not. Oh my god, you're so limited in your scope of thinking. If you kill the bitch, then you don't hop online X amount of years later and casually mention killing birds for this awesome interaction. You see how
Yeah.
that works?
Yeah,
Oh,
just,
jeez,
just
okay,
one
fine,
hand,
fine.
just one offhand, just random ass.
Like what? And if you kill the bitch 10 years later, instead of being like playing video games online talking shit, you're fucking in a cell block, fucking shanking your cellmate because you try to like. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Jesus
Okay, I get it. But then again,
It's
it's
better.
like, wait, hold on.
Here's the deal.
Okay,
We
wait.
have-
You're trying to say it's like, okay, this is an interesting story. It's like I'd rather tell a story about killing a bird than telling a story where I took care of the situation so no birds would ever become bad or bother anybody anymore.
What?
That's not gonna be a thing. What are you talking about? You can't train birds
Hey.
to never be bad. What are you talking about?
I swear I didn't say anything about the government.
And it wasn't even
That's not
bad.
what I said.
Well, clearly, this bird was just an annoyance, and motherfucker overreacted. That's implied. We already know that.
That happens.
But why?
Yes,
But
all the
why,
worst
though?
things that we're thinking about him in that moment, how mean and evil it is to kill this helpless little small thing when you're annoyed. Yes, that's all true. But it's not the greater point. The greater point is it's better to kill a bird than a bitch because of the consequences. Now, if I killed a bird
Well,
and they
why-
send me
why
to
would you
prison
have
for
to
the
do
rest of my
either?
life, I wouldn't kill bird. Huh?
Why would you
Because
do
I'm-
either?
Because you're a human surrounded by dumb people. Shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, and like okay, my line of thinking, it's like don't listen to dumb people.
All right, do you think this was like a yesterday version of SFM? Are you retarded?
Oh, yeah, true.
This is like probably a long time ago.
Yeah, it's long as
I'm
hell.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm
back
sure
when he was
it-
in his 20s.
as much
Man,
as
I
he
was-
can produce, yeah, as much as he can
What?
produce regret, he probably has like a tiny bit of regret for the bird death.
Nope.
He confessed to us.
What?
He feels sorry. He feels
No,
sorry.
I
Just
don't.
Go,
No,
roll with it.
it's
why not?
why would I?
Like
You
it's the
son
same
of a
thing as
bitch.
like back in the days.
It's a
Back in the
bird.
days when I was just like a young kid, it's like I borrowed the magnifying glass. I used to burn.
Here we go.
And
See, now you open the floodgates. Now everybody's gonna come around.
I
talking
know.
about
Here
all
it
the-
goes.
Everybody's gonna come
Right?
around to sharing their stories of animal abuse. That's what this shit has devolved into.
Man, I used to
That's
just
nice.
catch
That's good.
gophers, man. I just catch them in. You know, I didn't kill them at
gophers
first.
in
I'd
your-
work my way with them. You know what I mean? I used to watch spy movies as a kid, so I always like to imagine myself as torturing them. You know what I mean? Just catching gophers and torture them.
Disclaimer: the SFM 2046 channel does not endorse nor celebrate the death of or abuse of animals. Thank you.
No,
So,
no. No.
It-
Because like
don't
I
kill
was saying,
animals.
like I was saying, like with my stories, like when I was a little boy, it's like yeah, I took the magnifying glass. It's like it's like I use a magnifying glass to amplify the heat from the sun, and I can actually rope these ants. But,
You know what would be funny?
as it got
if-
listen, as it got older, it's like it's like leave the ants alone.
No, what's
They're not
interesting
bothering-
is that
they're not bothering me. They're not bothering
What-
me at all.
what I could see is like someone hearing the bird thing and feeling some kind of way about it while they're eating Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah,
That's what I think of.
this is different.
Okay, well,
It's like,
yeah,
what?
well, that's like a vegan argument.
Yeah, but vegans are full of shit too. They're just very little ever point out to them. Do you know how much damage you got to do to the environment to do like a monocrop? You know how many birds and shit die to get that farmland going?
Birds,
Soy,
rodents,
fucking corn,
insects,
yeah,
The
all
amount of
kind- whole-
pesticides that you have to use. Yes, I know.
yeah. So they're all full of shit. So fuck them too.
Of course they
Yeah, I
are.
know, I know.
Well, I mean, the thing is, being honest about it. Yeah, that's where they say that the problem is. I'm being honest about it. Fuck those animals. I don't care about
Yeah,
them.
because, like, the thing is, like I eat chickens because
I do. I
chickens-
just want to
chickens
distinguish
taste-
myself right now
taste
that
good.
I care about animals. There we go.
I don't.
I do. I care very much about animals. All animals.
I don't care about most people either.
Sure,
Fuck them.
sure.
All shit. See,
Right,
Nate,
but, like,
there
There's
you
certain
go.
animals. There's certain animals that we have to eat in order for us to survive.
We don't have
Like,
to
I'm not-
eat.
No, we're
Yeah,
going.
no,
We're
We don't
going.
have.
Yeah, we don't have to, but
if
we're
you
we're
don't
going
eat,
to.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Right? Because like we're not like vegetarian. Oh, what's the word? There's omnivores or herbivores.
Oh
We're
my,
not
yeah,
herbivores.
all right.
we're
so
not. We're not capable
can-
of being herbivores. Like we can eat.
No,
like,
shut up.
plants
Here,
all day.
it's
do you mean, shut
location,
up?
location. So like, if you
Yes, I do.
if you come from a people that who's are limited on an island to fish, they're gonna
Yes.
eat fish, right? So like, it's all about
Yes.
location. You're gonna eat what's available to you the most easily and the most accessible to you. And then
Yeah.
you fast
And, like-
forward when everybody starts to talk to each other and go on boats and planes, and now everybody's eating each other's shit, and like it is what it is. All right, so yes, you
Yeah,
can
'cause-
survive without meat. That's a thing. Do you want to? Whatever. Have we developed pills that are pills and powders and shakes that are as equal to the protein you can find in meat? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's not bullshit each other. However, is it optimal? Is it easier?
No.
You gotta go out of your way and research the fucking powder, and it doesn't taste as good.
A lot of these things are also based off chemicals, like man-made artificial things.
Well, some, like, I mean,
Right.
here's the deal. Most
And
vegans
what's
have
wrong?
to supplement. So,
Yeah, of course, because they're not getting the proper nutrition that they actually
Yeah.
need. Right. So what the chemical thing is like? It's all manufactured, it's all man-made. It's not natural, right? As opposed to like eating fish or eating chicken or like even eating like potatoes, right?
yeah,
Some
all
people-
of that's not natural
some
anymore
people-
either, by the way.
Some people
Yeah.
around the world, right, like thousands of years, right, people ate a certain type of food, and that type of food was like what was available around them, where they could farm or they could grow the animals, and that's what they ate. So like for me being a Caribbean in the Philippines, um, yeah, it's fish. Fish is something that like yeah, I love fish. Like I don't eat it every day, but like it's like man, it's like I'm craving for a good fish dinner, and like that's almost in my blood because like going back in generations, like that's what people from my area eat all the time, and like it's just that like right now, like where we have almost like a global economy. We could have like anything from anywhere in the world. It's like yeah,
Fuck.
we can eat steak, lamb,
Yeah, people are gonna be really fucked
bunch
up.
of
They-
bunch of vegetables and fruits.
Yeah, but we're
Like
living in a transition. All those supply lines are being compromised and they're drying up. So here's the deal: like, there's at least going to be a good 5 to 10 years where that global market of food is not going to be a thing anymore. We're going to have to go
Yeah.
back into regional supply lines.
Look what they're doing right now, right? Because
Yep.
like in North America, Europe, well, actually like throughout the entire world, it's like they're actually actively like certain people, quote unquote, or close bracket, whatever. They're actually actively getting rid of farmers, like farmers of all kinds. It doesn't matter what kind of crop or
But
livestock.
yeah, but that's a
they grow.
twofold thing because a lot. But also there's another layer to that. Getting rid of farmers has never been so easier because these are usually like the fourth or fifth generation of new kind of modern kids that don't give a fuck about the legacy all their ancestors built, and they rather sell the ranch or farm and get rich now than do anything on the land anymore. They don't give a fuck. They sold out
okay,
their
well,
entire.
Those are not the people that we're talking about because like there's
Those
like,
are a lot of people. Those are a
people in the-
lot of people.
There's a people in the
Land
government.
doesn't sell
there's-
itself. Land doesn't sell itself.
Okay, well, what would somebody think is like instead of holding on to this land that produces something, they'll rather sell it to get dollar bills in their hand.
The modern person. 99% of modern people would make that decision.
And these people who have these dollars in their hand, do they know that those dollars lose
Shit.
value every day?
Yeah, which actually incentivizes them to do the sell now before the dollar gets any worse.
But then what do you do with the dollar?
You're talking about, here's the deal. It's not
Like,
monolithic.
so they have to- So they have to buy
farmers are not-
something. They have to buy
So,
something that retains value.
but here's the thing about it. So like you had enough farmers, right? This wasn't the first sign that not all farmers are great. Like I don't know where you get this idea that all. Here's the deal. For generations, farmers has said yes when the government said, "Hey, can you not grow this, or can you grow more of this than normal? Hey, can we kind of manage your farm for you, and we'll give you kickbacks and this, that, the third. Hey, can you use this chemical known to cause cancer and all that?" Like, and for years, farmers have agreed to all this bullshit. So some of them held out. Want to keep their land. They do shit like old school way, less efficient, whatever. Some of them hold out, but that's not many. A lot of farmers sold out a long time ago, is what I'm saying. So.
Have you seen? Were you there when I was looking at the like United States map, and like I was looking, it's like wait a sec, how come there's just so many areas in the United States that looks like the farms are in circles, and like
pattern.
Like once I found out why they did that is because of the automation.
Oh yeah.
It's easier. It's easier for like with the GPS and all that to rotate around a certain fixed point than it is to have like a square or rectangle area that that these tractors have to go through.
Yeah.
Right. All over the United States, it's like that, right? So the thing is, like these farmers are actually keeping up with the times. They're keeping up with technology, and like,
well, yeah. And
they're
there's a
actually
trade. Well,
getting
and
more
then,
efficient.
but sometimes it's not just that. sometimes keeping up with technology means doing zero research or having zero concern about taking the kickbacks or the incentives that you were being told for you're not really managing your own shit anymore. And like and this is strange because in the heartland of America, you still have this idea that you have like this rugged individualist farmer and rancher that still exists. Now, no, most of them died off, and now it's their kids who are all a bunch of simps and bitches that are willing to sell out anything and anyone at any given time. Fuck these people. To me, like half the time I see somebody dressed up in a cowboy outfit, I get offended. Them motherfuckers died. They don't exist no more. Cowboys don't go to Starbucks, motherfucker. You know what I mean? So like a lot of this shit is fake as hell. Like, and a lot of these people sold out. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have. Maybe they should have. I don't fucking know. But let's not pretend that this rugged individualist American rancher farmer kind of thing still exists. There are very few of those individuals left.
Because like the thing is, like they have to. Well, any farmer nowadays, they have to follow certain things that
Yeah, that's part of it.
that was established like.
But the very but if you go
like things like crop rotation.
Oh God, Rick,
Like
you
you
just
can't get rid
talk.
of. I know, like you can't get rid of crop rotation. Like that's just something that has to be done, right? Because the certain plants take certain nutrients out of the soil, and you can't grow the same crop year after year. You have to
But
switch it around in order for. Yeah,
The
go ahead.
inception of agriculture in the U.S. was flawed from the inception, meaning that even when it was more affordable to buy land and then try to make it workable, arable agriculture land, right? What most people did was not save up a bunch of money and buy it whole outright. What they did is they went to a bank and they took out a loan. That replicated hundreds of thousands of times across the heartland was the first part of this scam. Because you have these individuals who may have worked the land hard and well and try to be right by the families and all this good shit, right? However, they go around in their head thinking, I own this land. No, the bank does. You're paying the bank and you're working your own land that you think is yours, which is actually the bank's. They will take it away from you. They will dictate the terms on how they own the land. All that shit. That was the fun. So there are other farmers and ranchers that actually did the right thing and got the money together and bought things outright with no loans. Those were the true people that own shit. And then in some cases, the people that took out loans, some of them were able to pay off the loans, including all the interest, and then finally own their property. But since the scam, that was the model, you already baked into the culture, you're selling wolf tickets. It's like, hey, you want to be part of the owning your own shit when you really don't own it? Come on.
Yeah, that is that is so fucking heavy in the culture right now, and it's kind of disturbing. But it goes more along the lines of you see this a lot where people, they're just following the model of, you know, the house and all this other shit. But I don't think they really ask themselves, you know, does that shit work? Is it worth it? Like, what are you actually doing? What are you getting from it? God damn it!
No, it's off. Your mic is
Yeah.
off.
So my,
Turn your mic on. Rick, turn your mic on.
Okay, so
Can't hear you.
Like even still, it's like people who own property actually don't even own the property. It's like
That's
it could be
what
taken,
we just said.
It could be taken away from, like, not by the banks. It could be taken away from you by the government.
The government could take your shit away anyways.
Yeah.
Right? And like the thing
because
is,
of
like
taxes.
even if you own your property, it's like you're still paying taxes.
Yep. And insurance.
Stuff-
So here's the deal.
Yeah, a
The
whole bunch of
insurance
things,
and also contractors. You get some work done on your house and you don't pay the contractor, could have put a lien on your house. The contractor owns your house now.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of ways where people could get at your shit.
Yeah.
And insurance companies, another big scam. So here's the deal. At one point, insurance companies weren't in bed with government. But now that they got lobbyists to say, hey, make it a law that you have to have house insurance. So before it was a decision. If you don't have home insurance, you take the risk that if someone gets in an accident on your property or if the place burns down, that you'll deal with it because you don't have insurance. And it was your choice. Now, it's been a government mandate. To
Oh,
own
you're
that
forced to do
home,
it.
you have to have the insurance. Otherwise, the escrow deal to get the loan won't go through anyway. So,
Almost
like,
it's almost like the government is like a mafia.
it's a marriage between insurance corporations and the government. Yes.
I mean, if you want your business to grow, you get in bed with government. That's it. You want to crush your competition? Get in bed with government. The end of the story is government's too fucking big with too much power.
Yes.
Oh, you can't talk like that.
And actually, no. The question is, what can we do about it? And the answer is nothing.
We can play video games and talk about dead birds online. That's what we can do.
Yeah. We never actually got to any details about that dead bird.
Hey, we ain't gonna
What
get
kind of
none.
bird was it? Mother.
We ain't gonna get no. I don't want. In fact, I don't want details. Don't say another goddamn thing about the bird.
Yeah.
Not a
now
fucking
it's,
thing.
now it's gonna be our imagination. It's like it was some parrot. It was some parrot. It was like nice.
It was a
like,
pterodactyl,
colorful
motherfucker. It was a
some colorful
pterodactyl and
feathers and everything.
it was a pterodactyl and it was a sword, not a hanger. Okay, get it right.
And like it's like while SFM was being that bird, like, the bird was looking up. It's like, please don't. And like you see the little teardrop coming from his eye.
What? No. Why would I? What? What?
Well, hey, listen, we don't know your story. You didn't tell it.
I did
But
tell
I
it.
can
It was
imagine.
actually that cut and dry. It was pretty simple. And honestly, I don't like how everyone
Yeah, I
tries
can
to
see.
force this idea that we have to have this huge compassion for animals and shit. It's like, no, you don't.
The
Yeah,
bird
we
was
don't have
The bird was.
we don't have to have compassion for animals, but
What the fuck?
some of us just do.
Yeah, because like the same thing with my cat. Because like when I moved, it was like
Yeah, your cat. Your cat.
my cat. Yeah, it's my cat.
Here's the deal. I don't like when dogs in video games get killed. I don't like it.
Yeah, it was. You ever notice
Almost-
like some of these
Almost.
games, it's like these dogs are actually pretty vicious. So,
Actually,
like you
I
can't
also
leave
don't
them
like when
alone.
elephants
You
get
can't
killed.
leave. Okay. Are you part Indian?
No, I think I like elephants a lot. I don't like to see them harmed, even in fake ways. I don't like video game elephants being killed.
Did you know that if you tie up like a baby elephant or a young elephant, you tie them up to a post, right? When they're young, it's like they don't have the strength to break free of the rope or the post that they're attached to. And when they get older into adulthood, they don't forget that they couldn't break out from that rope before. So
The
as
fuck?
an adult,
Is this?
as an adult, when they're stronger, bigger and stronger,
Shit.
they don't even try to break out the post.
Yeah,
If
conditioning.
if a rope is attached.
Okay, yeah.
Attached to a leg.
I understood where you were going. Like two sentences in. Get it?
Okay.
This is a good analogy for what happens to us. To be honest with
Yeah.
you,
I know it's the same thing.
that conditioning in childhood stays forever, right?
They do that shit with not hitting women.
Well, you know, it's like there's nothing stopping us from hitting women.
No, it's not. It's not to stop you. It's to deter you.
That bunker might have what Mason needs.
I highly recommend not doing that. Yeah, it's not good. Don't do that.
Yeah, I know, of course, right? Because like there's such a big power difference. That
Not
it's like,
not that. It's not that. It's mostly the consequences. It's mostly that. So,
Bitch.
like, you can even change
Yeah,
up the
because-
era.
okay,
Like, all right.
yeah,
most-
like when two women are fighting, like nobody will care. It's like let the two women fight because they're not going to actually kill each other.
Well, no, they sometimes that. Well, okay. Go ahead.
Well, it all depends, of course. There's just, but in general, that's what I'm saying.
Um,
But like when you
well,
have a, go ahead.
today the consequences are way bigger, but there was always consequences. Like back in the day, when there were no laws about not hitting your wife, if you hit your wife and the brother or the father or the cousin feels some way about it, you might get some consequences. So
Yeah,
hit a
but
bitch at your own risk
but
is
the
what I'm
thing is,
saying. Like,
okay, well, back in the days, like, was there a good reason for it? It's like, um, and pressure did you apply? Like,
does
did you
that really
just
make a
did you
difference? It could
yes? Did you just
not
like
really.
slap
So
her?
here's the deal.
Did
Like
you just slap
you're
her, or did
the
you like close fist punched her out?
you're not seeing the bigger picture. So back in the day, let's say
Oh.
you hit your woman, you're completely justified, and the brother
No.
finds out, he's gonna go in protective mode. He grew up with that girl, knows that she can gaslight and fuck with your head, but he doesn't care. He puts all that aside about how she doesn't act right and probably asked for it.
And
He
and
puts
like
all that aside, and he's still gonna be a protector in protector mode for a lot of people who did this shit. So like
yeah,
it
well,
doesn't matter
that's triple
whether it was
man.
just or not.
Yeah, that's triple
Yeah.
man, right? Because the
Yeah,
thing is, like,
they've always
like
existed.
he should know is like as a brother, it's like he grew up with her. He knows how he is, right?
Doesn't matter.
So if Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm saying on an
it doesn't
instinctual
matter.
level, it doesn't matter. They're gonna say, "Oh, well, that's my sister. That's my family," and that's the only thing that's gonna run through their mind.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, protector mode. And also, guess who ruins, even in the context with those different circumstances and no laws, right? Also, if you're the brother and you know another guy and you actually witnessed the guy beat down a woman for no reason, just because he was fucking drunk or whatever, that'll be in your mind. And then you're gonna project those circumstances. Oh, you know your sister is
Yeah.
not like that, and she may start shit. You'll project the idea of the innocent woman being beat down for no reason onto
Okay,
your sister, even if your sister's
so
horrible.
men have to get in their mind. It's like stop projecting.
Yeah, it's be
I know,
Yeah.
I know. It's an impossible task. I know.
yeah.
But for society to be stable, I guess. Men have to know this. But the thing is, like, yeah, men don't know this, so well, not everyone.
Goddamn
It's
Cliff.
like society is the way it is right now.
So think about this. This is another inconvenient thing nobody wants to talk about, right? This is a man-on-man thing. So back in the day, let's say it was reversed, and you got a hold of one of these crazy bitches to start beating up on you. And since you were raised right and proper, you never hit back. But the community, friends and family, the church got wind of this, that you got your ass kicked by your own wife. Guess what would happen in some communities as a response? They would drag you out of your home and beat you because you're an embarrassment as a man. And do you know why? Do you know the rationale behind this? Is that if you can't even stand up and take charge in your own household, what happens
You're
if there's
wicked.
invaders to this whole community? Yeah. What if we need you to be cannon fodder because, you know, some wild shit happens, like another civil war? We need you to be on the front line and know that we can trust you to be disposable in the right way.
So,
So
like,
you
if
have
you
to
can't
hold
even stand
frame
up
in your own
to-
house.
Yeah, if you can't stand up to a woman, relate her or not, it's like, yeah, you're just a weak man. Like some people will say is like, yeah, you shouldn't even be around in our community. You're a detriment to our community.
What this means that in some circumstances, men, even back then, were damned if they do and damned if they don't.
Yeah, and like no, it's like nothing changed. This is still the same way like now.
Well, in this day and age, in clown world, if you get beat by your woman, you could probably put it on an OnlyFans and get paid. So there is a little bit of a difference.
No, you can't. Cause like
Really? You don't think there's a
Didn't
market
mention-
on the internet that wants to see a dude get beat up by a woman? Are you retarded?
no, yeah, they'll probably be laughing at it for the same
Yeah.
reason that they.
It's still a market. There's a
Did I ever
market for
mention-
everything now. Did you ever mention that you used to get beat up? What?
No, no. Did I ever mention that like when I was in prison for or jail for a short amount of time? I was talking to this one guy. Um, he was a professor and all that for college, and
Hmm.
yeah, he was in jail because his wife got mad about something. I forget something. I'm sorry. I forget it, what the reason was. And like she was throwing things at him and all that. The guy did nothing. At least this is what he told me. He did nothing. Right? She's throwing things at him,
Brother Bitchute to
throwing
mention
dishes
messages
and whatnot
Hello?
at him. He did
We're
nothing.
leaving evacuation, so,
He did something.
you know,
You want to know
No,
what he did?
just
So, let's
he
take
didn't
what
please a
the
woman.
information.
don't leave us behind.
Let's
didn't
take this
please a woman.
Let's take this third-hand information at face value, right? He's innocent.
Sure.
He still did something wrong. You know what that was? Ignore red flags, follow his dick, and chose the woman. That's what he did wrong.
Yeah. And how would you know? It's like once you get married.
No, I don't want. No, this is the same shit bitches pull. Oh my god,
Okay.
I always have horrible luck with bad guys. We don't get this excuse either. It's not just us having horrible luck with bad women. Some are worse than others. If you fuck crazy, you're gonna get crazy outcomes. And here's the deal. So few men are honest about this, especially in the manosphere. Here's the deal. It's not that men are not capable of picking up red flags from crazy ass bitches. It's that it actually turns them on to participate. It's just like the reverse of hybristophilia. Some men want to stick their dick in danger. They
Have
do.
you ever seen? Have you ever seen like the crazy hot image or chart?
Say what?
The crazy heart chart. Let
No.
me see if I could. Let me see if I could.
Oh no, yeah, no, I did. If it was in the Discord, I saw it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So you saw it, right? And
Yeah.
like, if you see the asterisk, it says that by default, all women are at the level 4 crazy or above.
Okay.
So that means
Cool.
like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of woman you pick. It's like, yeah, guaranteed 100% of them are gonna be crazy in some way.
And guess what? So if all of them
Then
are
it
level
comes-
4 or 5 and above, so that could be mitigated. You know how you mitigate that? You make sure you're not level 4 or 5 simp.
Okay.
That's how you combat that. That means that your
Well,
discretion and your selection is better than.
Another thing you have to deal with is the laws that are in place.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that.
Right?
However, we're not
like,
going.
you
But
can't even-
this is why.
you can't even deal with a crazy woman. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter
no,
if she's on a level
Is it-
1 or like
What,
a
are
level
you
10. It doesn't matter. You can't deal with them.
Yeah. And what's the solution to this that we obviously have all fucking experimented with? You don't engage.
Yes. That's the only option.
Okay. So once we don't engage, like bitching about the state of it, like just kind of gets fucking boring after a while. We already know this shit. Like, however, what can we do something about? Can we analyze ourselves and like, oh hey, so maybe I stopped the behavior, but do I still have a bitch made mentality? Am I still a simp? Am I still holding my own self back even when I'm not banging broads or trying to fuck crazy? Those are good things to think about. That's what we can do something about. Like if you've already cut off women, cool,
Yeah.
right? But like, what next? What's after that shit? What's post red pill?
Trying to figure out where in your life you're still using, like, was those mentalities? It doesn't belong to just relationships. That belongs to a lot of interactions you do in a lot of situations you find yourself in. So now you basically have to keep working on yourself so you can get better outcomes for yourself. Where are you still disrespecting yourself? Where are you still not living up to the values that you profess to have?
Like you can't go beyond. You can't go beyond.
Fuck!
Okay, like you can't just stop dealing with women. It's like, no, that's just like the entry point. There's other things that you can do in your life or not do in your life to not be part of the system that can and will entrap you.
Yeah. and some of it's
Right,
not
so,
external. A lot of it. Like if you have the option to do things in the external world, of the world, part of the world, great. If you still have those options, have a blast. However, the only thing that will be permanent is the ability to, from within. So it doesn't matter if we live in fucking Fallout or today or fucking 90s. It doesn't matter. That you'll be able to be all right in any of those conditions, despite what society or civilization is doing to or about you.
yeah.
That's master level shit, and it's ongoing. I don't even know if it's attainable, but I'd like to think it is. You know, so.
Well, it's stuff that we do like every day, where like we're still living in society. It's like we can't really escape it.
Yeah, but here's the
We're
deal.
still
Like,
we're still part of it, but the thing is, like we have some kind of control over what we do.
so then now some of that, especially when it comes to the civilization, right? It's about figuring out our grief of what we thought things were and letting that shit go, and then figuring out what little control we do have and how best to use it, right? And the only control, the only sovereignty that we really have is inside our brain. However, we compromise that every time we engage with stimulus, right? So like, if we play video games, watch movies, talk to fucking retards named Rick online too much, that could begin to chip away, and we have to hold frame on like, okay, what's really happening right here? What am I really doing? Right? And you know, that's laborious. Sometimes people don't want to do that shit.
Why do you think
Some
that I
guys
recruited you
say
for in
this,
the
it's like it
first
sounds like a
fucking
you
place?
problem.
Because you're a trier.
What's a you problem? Me mourning that everything sucks, or me accepting that everything sucks and trying to move on? Like, what's the you problem there?
Well, the thing is, like, accepting
We fight one battle and then
things
we
as
fight
they are
another one
and
until
moving on
it's
from
done.
there.
It's exactly what I just said. Is the art of doing that. But maybe I said it in a stupid way. So
Or
Yeah.
are you Billy
yeah,
Bridger?
just say. Go ahead, say it to my face, Rick. Say I said it in a stupid way,
Yeah, you said the best way that you could say it.
which is stupid, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm not saying that.
You trying to get your legs broken today?
How about you join your old mate?
What?
And we go and kill a load of sauerkraut munchers. Yes, please.
It's like my knee is actually feeling pretty good. It's like, yeah, try and break my leg.
If I want your legs broken, I'll just send a broad to do it.
That
Oh,
infantry
jeez.
will be here any second. Now find some cover, and I'll support you from up here.
Actually, oh man, I was just thinking something. Fuck, I can't even say it. Okay,
Sure.
you win. Congratulations.
What's my prize?
You don't get a beer. That's your
Okay, no problem.
God damn.
At this point in the game, a beer would be a punishment, not a prize. So.
Yeah, I know, exactly. That's why you don't get one.
I'm not good at this.
Didn't we try to play the same game like, I don't know, 3 years to get together on a stream?
No.
No?
That was Battlefield.
Okay.
It went terrible.
And then there was the other one, not Destiny, what am I thinking of? It was one where, it was like urban warfare.
What?
Payday?
Call of Duty?
Actually, I played Payday. I never played with you guys, though.
No, you did. You played, no, me, you, and...
Payday?
Payday 2, we all played it together before. A few times, actually.
Was it drunk at the time, or?
Probably. Like, that's 90% of the time, so yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, actually 80%, but...
There you go.
What was the other game?
I don't know, like...
It was a Ubisoft game or something like that.
Oh, I don't... Division.
Division. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
I don't think we ever did Division 2, but we definitely did 1.
Like me and SFM were going off different directions. It's like we had our own ideas how to do
The best time was Borderlands. I think we
Oh,
played
yeah.
Borderlands. Yeah. So.
Yeah, those series were fun. It's like the original one. Do you have the actually? Well, it's not like it's actually any good, but you have Tiny Tina's Adventures.
No.
Okay. Well, the thing is, okay. Well, I still have Borderlands. How come I can't scroll?
I don't think I played. No, I think we tried to play 3, maybe. I don't remember.
No, not 3. It's like we played Borderlands the pre-sequel. Borderlands.
Yeah,
2.
no, that's right.
Oh
that's
yeah.
right.
We didn't play the original Borderlands. We played Borderlands 2. That's the one
Yeah.
we used to play. And then we played the pre-sequel.
Yep.
And did I buy? Oh no, I got it. I have Tiny Tina's on Epic Game Store, not on Steam. So like I have to do some crazy stuff to play with SFM and Sits on there. But like we could play together though. Like it's still Borderlands. It's like
I'm getting real pissed. I'm getting real pissed off that all these games have to have their own launchers and shit now. It's so fucking annoying. Like it's not good enough to have Steam anymore. Now you gotta have Origin and whatever. So.
God damn.
Get good.
Try it. I bet there's a bunch of fucking 15-year-olds laughing at me right now. How the fuck is this not killing him?
How'd you like that, Mason? Good boy.
Alright, sweet. He's dead. Time to run back to my cover. I need to do something productive, because I feel like I'm not spending my time very productive. The fuck is a snooker?
Yeah, that's what you can do. You can bust out one of your soldering kits.
No,
Do something.
I got some new solder coming because the other ones were, I think it was fucking, it had to be like lead free or some shit. Because it literally it was taking too much to fucking, to melt when I was doing it. And I think that caused a lot of the issues. Where the fuck? Oh shit. Oh, he means planes. That's what this is for. That's why I thought the position was weird.
You mean you gotta use an anti-tank weapon or anti-aircraft against aircraft?
Well, I didn't know what it was.
Did it already drop a bomb on you that's incoming? Oh no, I guess it didn't.
Fuck.
He's like halfway across the map and he has accuracy? What? You gotta love that red mist.
God damn.
How does the health work on the game? Is it regenerative?
Yeah, just if I could just stop getting shot.
I hope you're right.
Where'd the bird lover go anyway?
I don't know, buy a bird. I couldn't think of anything witty.
We went to get a parakeet, hand feed it, pet it, call it Marge. Sleep with it.
What the fuck? Ah! Oh, god damn it. I threw a grenade and it hit the wall and killed me. All right.
Again. Yeah, oh no, that was the first time. It's just delayed.
All right, so I think that I'm not starting.
I hope you know what you're talking about, Mason.
I'll bring you now. Flank! They're flanking from the valley!
Where the fuck is that?
Repel all enemy forces.
More vehicles approaching. Don't like the look of this lot.
He won't be a problem.
Yeah, now keep it up.
Oh shit.
Coming rockets!
Be right back.
Incoming! Get out! Don't stay in one place too long. They'll get range on you. Rockets! Get a cover! Keep moving! And maybe get yourself something to fly back where you're at!
Nasty chicken!
Stay on your toes! Find something to knock them trucks out! Incoming! Get out!
How the fuck is this not?
Don't stay in one place too long. They'll get range on you.
And everybody just... My computer took a nosedive.
Keep moving! And maybe get yourself something to fly back where you're at!
We're live.
Yeah, we're.
That should really help to clear the
Are you still playing the game?
incoming rockets! Stay on your toes! And find something to knock them trucks out!
Okay, you're still playing the game, okay.
I don't know how this is not. I'm about to call it a day.
Don't stay in one place too long. They'll get range on you.
Oh, you've been quite kind of quiet. I mean, yeah, they were going at it while you were playing the game.
Yeah, MA went to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I couldn't blow this fucker up.
Are you winning stuff?
No, not at all.
Incoming infantry!
You want to close out or?
Yeah.
you want-
Actually, about to. So the I think the last topic was, am I wrong? And it's just sort of
Plane coming
A reminder to always try to gain new information and analyze what you're doing. God damn it.
Actually, well, maybe you are wrong. Maybe you shouldn't try to find out too much. Maybe you can just worry about living your life.
What?
You didn't hear me?
No, I just came back.
Oh. We're going in closing statements, I think.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying is like, you know, maybe the best thing to do is actually find out the truth. But maybe he's wrong about that. It's like, you know, it might be better not to find out the truth as long as you can live your life.
Not everyone is compatible with the truth.
Yeah. And like finding out about truth, there's a level of pain that's involved. Like something that like you need to
God damn.
deal with. And like it's not like everybody could deal with that kind of pain, or like living through pain. So like let's say for example, it's like you're vulnerable. Right? A lot of people can't deal with the pain of a broken bone.
Shit.
There's other people that can deal with it. It's like, yes, the pain is there. Like, you can't get rid of that pain. No matter what you think or what you could actually do to remedy that, like putting ordinance on it. It's not going to fix the pain. The pain is always going to be there. And if that bone heals properly or if it doesn't, it's still going to have pain. Sorry guys, it's just me making noise in the back.
How dare you?
Yeah, it could be whatever you want.
No, you
What you
can't.
gonna do? What you gonna do, break my legs?
Yes.
Yeah. So that means I should stop doing that.
Yes, I have a friend that's a Canadian Mountie. He's coming for you.
Oh, okay, cool. Actually, you know what? That might be my new friend.
He also has a passport to the Philippines, so he can find you anywhere.
He'll be my new best friend.
He doesn't have friends.
Yeah, well, not until I meet him. I hope it's him.
Sounds a little gay.
Oh shit! I forgot to say no homo.
Yep, it's already done. A little gay.
Man.
I send you a hitman, and your solution is to sleep with him. It's a little gay, dude. It's a little gay.
Nobody said anything about sleeping with him. Just making friends.
That's what I heard. Me and the dead bird heard that.
There's still questions about that dead bird too.
That dead bird is my spirit animal now. So.
Jeez.
He had a brave face when he went. He didn't flinch once.
Yeah, that bird has some balls, so it's my time. It's like just do it.
We finally got a detail from the bird that he went out like a soldier. Stoic face.
Yeah, because there's no other way to go up. Once your time, it's your time. But at the same time, it's like, don't go before your time, though.
What rocket? What cannon? What?
Oh, geez. All right, I thought we were doing closing statements. Because like anybody who's listening is like, yeah, the end is not over. Every second that you breathe, that means that you still have a chance to make things the way that you want to go, or to get yourself out of a certain situation. Just
Hey,
because
y'all,
it's bad
did
doesn't
y'all
mean it's game over.
did y'all watch that show Peaky Blinders?
No.
Okay. Kind of ended terribly. So it was decent enough, but it ended terribly. So.
That was a movie or a series?
A series about like early 1900s, like 1915 to 1930s, gypsy Irish gangster in the UK. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it wasn't too bad.
All right, I'm gonna quit this shit.
Is there something that we should learn from that?
No.
No, not really, because like it had really strong writing for the first season or two, and then it got a little woke, and then the ending went to shit. But whatever.
Okay, so why would you bring that up?
I was wondering if anybody saw it. Like, if y'all ever watch YouTube, you've seen either snippets in other videos or shorts, because they always show the guy in the little taxi cab thing being a badass and all stoic or whatever. So yeah,
Well,
but it's always taken out of context because the guy's actually kind of a simp. But it's funny how these red pill channels will try to make a clip and put the music on, and it's like a red pill little cheap little red pill meme kind of thing. But in reality, in the show, he's like the ultimate simp. So
Yeah.
well,
No, because that's how a
I
lot.
guess not. Oh, no.
You got to remember, for a lot of dudes, that's how they are, though. Like, as far as them being a badass and rebelling and doing something different is just like a small, like, I just did this one small thing somewhat different, but still went along. So I'm still socially acceptable, but I'm doing it in a way maybe you didn't think of. It didn't appear to be socially acceptable, but really I'm right within the rules. So it's some lame shit, honestly.
yeah, like in the 1920s, they established quickly that members who were like either married or family members of this organized crime family ascended to have just as much say. So basically, boss bitches in the 1920s. Okay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it's not, I mean,
But you know what they accidentally do when they do like the boss bitch fucking trope? They reveal how earnest and quickly women will dispose of their henchmen. Like absolutely zero consideration for the henchmen. It's like, and it's weird because they don't intentionally do that the way that we would see it, but like it's still put out there. It's like, hey, you know what's great? So they never write, and this would be a farce, but it would be interesting if they tried. They never write a female leader, especially like in the crime world or like the business world, who's ruthless but also compassionate and nails it somehow. They don't even try to do that. What they do is they write a male character, but they just hire a female actress.
yeah.
That's all they could do. They can't. Yeah.
Still, they screw up the story. Look at the difference between the movie 300 and then the other one that was kind of like the pre-sequel to it.
I never saw the other one, so I don't know.
Oh, jeez. Oh, it's a good thing that you didn't see it because it was terrible. It lost all its meaning. Not only because it was the female protagonist, but the whole story was wrong. Everything was wrong about that movie.
That's funny. Like, if you go on to Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, any of them, any of the streaming services, and you just don't even have to look into things. But if you just glance at the previews, they've gotten to the point where they have arranged 90 to 95% of the films. Whether or not they actually have a female lead, they always show the female, like, in the preview, you know, the little whatever thing now. It's like, and then out of that 90 to 95%, 80% of them actually have the female lead, and either the men are stupid or retarded or whatever. It's like, it's gotten, like, we called this out as it was developing years ago, but it's like fucking to epic levels now. They're not even pretending. It's like
Oh yeah,
a male lead these days is like fucking rare. So
because like if you're around like when we're watching the movie what last night, um you had Bruce Willis. It's like he should have been like the quote unquote protagonist, but like you had a female what police chief I think who like had like more power over him, and even still it's like she didn't really do anything. Like she was just there like talking. She wasn't there to capture the bad guy or anything like that. But she was in put in a prominent position in that movie.
yeah, no, the very act of storytelling is pretty much dead. Like I haven't. It's hard to find anything where like the author knows how to connect you with the lead role anymore. Like almost that's the whole point. Like a good horror movie, you need to do it critically. That way you care when they start to die. A good drama, you need to care as when they go through the story arc. Like they don't even do it anymore. It's like it's almost like they're going another way to make unlikable characters constantly, always unlikable, and yet people still consume the shit. So it's not going away anywhere. Which means that people, a lot of people, never really valued a good story anyway. It was only a handful. Yeah, only a handful of people cared about story, I suppose.
Cause like it's a little bit different because like me and some other guys, like we look for the movies. Is like, oh, this might be interesting. This might be a good story, and we waste our time because like time is money and all that fun stuff. We'll spend our time watching it. It's like, oh crap, it was a terrible movie. But the thing is, like, well, we didn't pay for it though. So yeah, we did lose time, but we didn't have to lose our money or um, put money towards towards this movie.
I got movie ideas, just no way to make them.
Actually, yes, there is. Yes, there is. If you have some good movie ideas, it's like, yeah, there's thousands of men in the manosphere that could help create a movie.
Can you imagine trying to be a producer in a Manosphere movie? Oh my goodness, what a fucking headache that would be.
It'd be interesting.
I mean, your first
But
problem is you're gonna have to deal with everybody who thinks they're running shit.
yeah,
Like
but like
that's gonna be an
there's going
issue.
to be a hierarchy. There's going to be a hierarchy, of course,
Yeah. Well,
just like
also
any place.
a lot of us have kind of become adverse to cooperation when we don't have to be. So like if we're still participating in the workforce, all of every ounce of us being cooperative goes into that. Outside of that, not a lot of us are going to be interested in team sports. You know what I mean? So
Well, it all depends because like in our small little group that we have private sessions with, um, we form a hierarchy. We work on things together.
I guess.
But then again, that's also a small group though. Like when you start to have like hundreds of thousands of people, like men all together, yeah, there's going to be some jockeying. But once all that jockeying is done, and you have a hierarchy in place, you know, maybe good things might happen after. Maybe. I don't know. That's why I wish.
Somebody will beat us to it. Some group will make some like fake ass autobiography kind of biopic for Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that'll be a terrible movie, or if it was ever got made, that'll be terrible.
Like the way that he's kind of spin his own narrative since he's come on the scene is already the makings of a kind of a lame movie. But like, so his dad was what? Was he a musician or a chess master or both? Something like that. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, I think he was both. I think he was a musician and a chess master. He was in chess master for a while. MMA. He already got the ingredients to really feed the masses an interesting movie, I guess. So.
You know, because yeah, he already has an audience because he was in MMA.
And you could actually get woke points because he's mixed and his dad was black. So if you want to focus on that, like you could even get the woke crowd to come over. So
All right.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're
Yeah.
about to hit 3 hours, and now we're talking about an Andrew Tate the movie. So it's
Yep.
about time to end
No,
this
no.
shit.
We're just saying. We're just saying it's like there should be like a manosphere
inevitable.
in the movie. So like okay, because remember the manosphere is actually pretty wide and big, right? But the thing is that there's men around here who have talent, and if they have a set goal, it's like we create something awesome.
Every group, I swear to God, every fucking group thinks that they should have a movie because they're so fucking awesome and they're so diverse, they're so unique. And the truth is no. The truth is actually no, you shouldn't.
Look at some of the
Okay,
videos.
all right. If we're gonna do a movie and we have to cast, I think Tom Hardy should play me because I like Tom Hardy, and then Sam Jackson has to play SFM. I mean, there's no dispute.
Yeah. I know. There's not even a question.
Damn.
Okay, well, who's gonna play me?
Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker.
Motherfucker,
Totally.
With a Jamaican accent?
I'm not.
I'm pretty sure
Fuck.
Forrest Whitaker has done a Jamaican accent before, so he's done it in a lot of shit. So.
I swear he
think he
did.
has.
I think he did
I
in the
think he
movie. I
did.
think I saw that.
I think he did. I can't remember it.
If he didn't, I feel like I saw that. I just created that memory. So for me, he did. So, yeah.
Okay, well, who's gonna play JK?
Oh, that's it. Oh, shit.
Actually, all we need is somebody that we just need a voice actor. You don't actually need anyone to show up in person.
Yeah, but it's a movie though.
Yeah, you just need a voice actor. So they always through an intercom or a phone call or something.
Who's that one kid? That DK? What is it? DK Rollins or what is his name?
Talk about
DJ Rollins.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about from what was that movie where Eddie Griffin and that he had a fight coming up or something?
Yeah. Is it DJ Rollins or something like that?
It's like BJ Rollins or DJ Rollins, something
yeah,
like that.
But as an actor, he's gonna have to sell. Like he's gonna do some work. But yeah, that could work. So.
All right.
Yeah, I know JK's not gonna be happy about that.
And then if we had to cast Sooth, just any random hoe off the street would do. So.
You know, Sooth is a guy, right? And you're gonna take any random woman?
Can you prove that? Can you prove that without a shadow of a doubt?
Actually, well, that's true.
Yeah, you don't know if he's a trans man.
So yeah, I stand on that. Any hoe off the street, any crack hoe off of the street will be good for that role. So.
Right, I guess.
All right. Well, I'm getting hungry, and also I only have a couple hours before bed. And
okay, well, get down to closing statements.
I don't have one. I got fucking caught up playing. I'm not playing Battlefield again. I don't know what happened, but somehow that game just stole everything I had. So.
Yeah, it sounds like a you problem.
It is.
Anyways, do the closing statement.
I don't have one. There is none. We're just leaving.
I gotta close the statement.
Okay.
Do your best in this life. Struggle and fight against the urge. But whatever you do, resist killing a bird. That's it. That's my closing.
Hold up. All right, I think I have a closing statement. Uh, no, you can basically just try to live life to what you see as fit. Don't try to bring on everyone murdering you. So, kind of realize that there are some boundaries, there are consequences, but do what seems the best. I mean, honestly, like again, killing an animal, I kind of see it as, hey, that's part of life. Other people are like, oh, you can't hurt animals, that's terrible, and they fake this little feign and shit. So yeah, I'll pretend in public and shit, but in reality, on the inside, I don't care. I don't give a shit. In fact, it was hard for me when I remember they were talking about some situation where some woman got murdered because what I assume she accused this dude of sexual assault or something. It was in the military, and I couldn't give two less of a shit. I legit was actually looking off at some like a bee or something. I can't remember. I was just focusing off anywhere else because I don't care. I don't care. And it's like, what? You don't care about human life? It's like that situation. I don't know those fucking people. I don't know them. That has nothing to do with me. Why do I have to fake this feign ass? Oh, I care about everyone. No, I don't, dude. I literally don't. I'm
Yeah,
like,
the reason why you fake it, right? If you don't genuinely feel compassion, the reason why you fake it is because you want to make people that like hot wings feel better about themselves. That's why.
yeah.
It's just some bullshit. Like, I mean, here's the deal. Like, would you do that today? Would you just randomly kill a fucking bird with a hanger? I doubt it. But if the search situation was either you or the bird, I mean, who's not going to be? It's the bird. Like, come on.
Every time. There's not a doubt in my mind. Immediately, it's the bird. Every time. So again, we always like fake this shit, but again, you got to play the game. So that's one of the things they talk about. People being autistic or some shit like that. Just play. You don't have to play it all the time. Just understand that there's a cost with not playing at certain times. So sometimes it's better just to go along. So that way you can go about your day and eat some hot wings and play some Battlefield or something. You don't have to deal with this shit. Of people just trying to fuck with you and trying to, I don't know, report you and get you red flagged and have you locked in a mental institution, which is a real thing. People can get you locked in a mental institution. They can like sign petitions and shit.
So it's funny, like genuinely, like I kind of got a gist of what the bird story was, but what's funny is that in reality, I'm not moved either way. I just think it's a funny little story for, whatever. But when I actually think about dogs or elephants being killed in video games, I do feel some kind of way about that. And it makes no sense. It's not rational at all. Fucking humans, right? Fucking weirdos.
It is weird. I don't know, people are like, oh, I love animals, but I fucking hate other humans. It's like, holy shit. What is going on?
I can blow up, light on fire, shoot fucking whatever in a video game. Countless human figures. But if there's an elephant that gets on screen, I'm gonna avoid. Can't fuck with that elephant. What?
Genocide a whole population, but they spare the zoo though. They didn't do
Yep.
anything to anybody.
Yep.
We can't. We got morals. We got limits.
Yep.
We are human after all.
Yeah, I know.
It is
We're
what
the-
it is.
We're the apex superior species on the planet, without a doubt. There's no way to question it. It just is what it is.
That's it. That's it. And there's nothing else. So that's it.
Nothing.